Right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. Today is the first game of the 2025 Women's European Championships and we could not be more excited here. The tournament in Switzerland starts today as we begin our coverage with Iceland versus Finland, the 5 o'clock kickoff. Harry, we've been building up to this moment for so long now. How excited are you for the tournament?
Very excited. It's finally here, as you say. It's been a month of previews. It's going to be a month of anticipation, thinking about who could go and win it, what is going to happen at this summer's European Championships. They are here. We will find out across the next 4 weeks. We've got some brilliant action, some absolute classics coming our way. But the opening day is always one of the best days of the tournament. I think we've got two brilliant contests coming our way. First up, Iceland taking on Finland. Iceland expected by a lot of people to have a very decent tournament and could really ruffle a few feathers as we get later on. And obviously the hosts opening up their campaign later on against a side like Norway with the pedigree they've got. Two brilliant games. I think firstly though, Iceland-Finland poses a really good challenge for both of these sides, because this is the game they'll look at as being a very important one, with having the host in your group and having a side like Norway. Getting the win today is absolutely massive, especially for a side like Iceland, who, as I said, a lot of people are backing to go and cause some problems to the best sides in the world. So, opening game, there's already a lot of pressure on both sides, and a win and 3 points would do either side a massive favour to kick the tournament off.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned there Iceland, this sort of expectation of them as dark horses. Why is that? Why is there such a good feeling about Iceland coming into this?
There's a mix of factors. I think, first of all, the quality that they have, the potential they've got amongst the squad. They've got some very talented young players coming through. They've got some experienced players as well amongst their ranks who we've seen playing in the Frauen Bundesliga, playing in the DSL as well. I think also their form has been incredible, and yes, they haven't won in their last 5, but if you look at the sides they have played, they managed to get a draw against France. They got a draw against Norway as well. So some really decent results, and qualifying was absolutely formidable. They played Germany off the park in one of those games, beating them 3-0. They qualified outright. They didn't have to go through the playoffs like the majority of sides in those lower pots. But Iceland, they did well. They went through as one of the top 2. They got themselves into a high pot, and they reaped the rewards from that, because they've got themselves a group that they could very feasibly get out of. And yeah, they've got the quality, they've got the potential, and they've got players amongst their ranks who you look at and you go, that could be the breakout star of the tournament. And if they perform, not only will it do themselves a world of good, but it will also boost their nation massively. And that's why Iceland are up there as a side who could really do something special at this year's Euros.
Yeah, it's a group where I think it's the closest one, in that the gap between the bottom side, or the bottom pot side, and the top pot side is probably the closest. Because we speak about the group of death, obviously Group D and Group C have got group of death ideas around them. I think the Germany-Sweden one's a little bit more obvious. The group with England, France, Netherlands, and that's going to be a really tough contest. But this group's probably the closest, in that I think anyone can finish top or bottom, and it shouldn't be that way. Norway should have this much more comfortably than we expect, but they never show up in the way that they should, and that's an opportunity for Iceland and for Switzerland and for Finland here to get through, or try and get through. It's a group where they all could, so there'll be a lot of belief, and I think that's going to make for really interesting games, especially this early kickoff, where later maybe Switzerland will play with a bit of apprehension because it's their first game and they're the hosts. Norway got a bit of pressure. I think we might see a cagey start there, but Iceland, Finland, there's none of that. It's two sides who have nothing really to lose coming into a tournament where I think they'll view it as a really good opportunity to get out of the group stage. So yeah, should be really positive. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Alf Martin says, news up here, loved your US previews. Thank you, Alf. I really appreciate the nice comment. And Phil saying, evening all, hope everybody is well. That's really exciting. The more exciting thing is something new from YouTube, which is crowns. I don't know. I don't know whether they saw the Women's Euro and thought, we know what we need crowns. But there we go. So if you get XP, which I think you get just from typing messages, you get a crown. Phil's currently number 1.
Well done, Phil.
So there you go. Get involved in the live chat and you win crowns. What they give you, I'm not sure. But there you go.
Pride.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pride thing. No, we'll see what happens with those. Let's have a look, though, at the lineups for today's games. We'll start with Iceland then. Iceland operating a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 type shape. In goal, it'll be Runarsdottir, a back four of Arnardottir, Vigosdottir, Sigurdardottir, and Arnardottir. Across the midfield three, then it's Johansdottir, Viljansdottir, and Antonsdottir, and a front line of Eriksdottir, Jonsdottir, and Jason. Jason really bucking the trend there with no Dottir. Obviously, Dottir and Son are very familiar or very common Icelandic surnames, because that's how it works in Iceland. You take your father's first name and then Dottir as your surname.
I like it.
So, or son, obviously. So it's like you're the son of Jons or Antons. So yeah,
it's a good system. I think it's quite smart, but yeah, it's a good side. Iceland, they've got a very good system. It's a system that has worked against the majority of sides. Obviously, there have been certain games where it hasn't, but overall, I think that Hal Dawson's got his side playing some really decent football. It's a back line that look really solid and have got some reliable players in that back four. I think it's a strong centre half partnership, and for me, that is one of the key things at these major tournaments, or that can really elevate the level of your side. If you've got two centre halves who are very good and a good partnership, that massively bolsters your chances of defending well and conceding less. And obviously that Icelandish front three is very, very dangerous. A superb talent leading the line in Jonsdottir. We've got Eriksdottir, who obviously has joined the WSL this season, and Jessen, who is also a decent player. So it's a dangerous front three. It's a solid back four. They're the two things you really need to go and deliver at European Championships. But I like this system. I like the way they're playing, and I think they look pretty set. Obviously, it looks pretty good on paper. That can completely change it in the match. But overall, looking at that 11, I think it looks pretty sharp.
My question around Iceland is, can they go and impose that superiority today? Because what we've seen is with their fullbacks, they sit on the halfway line. So they sit their back four as the traditional back four would, sitting on the halfway line, waiting for the attacks to break down and then being solid. It gives them a lot of defensive solidity. But in a game like this, where Finland are going to drop quite deep, I think it's going to be now a big test. Can Iceland let their players off the reins a little bit? Can they get forwards a little bit more and look to impose their superiority? Because they are the slightly stronger side today. I think Iceland are a really good team. So, yeah, they should be looking at this game as favourites. They've got goals up front today, goals from midfield as well with Viljansdottir. Lots to be really positive about for Iceland. And let's have a look then at the Finland side. So Finland are going to play a 4-4-2 or 3-4-3, 3-5-1. 5-4-1 type shape. It depends on whether they're in possession or out of possession. But in goal, it is Koivunen, a back four of Koivisto, Koika, Nystrom, Tainila, and Kasola. In the midfield, it's going to be Summanen and Siren. Then two wide players of Erling and Francie, and leading the line it is Salström. So really relying here on Salström to provide those goals, Harry. Can she do it on this big stage?
Yeah, that's the biggest question for Finland. I think that, as you say, that they're going to set up pretty defensively. It's very much going to be settling to the game first of all. They're back at a Euros, a massive moment for the nation, a massive moment for these players. They just need to settle in, sit a little bit deeper for the first few moments of the game and just find their feet. But once they get into the game, once they grow into it, can someone step up? And as you say, Salström presents a good opportunity, and if she can deliver, then Finland could be on the money tonight. But if she doesn't, then either someone else has to step up, or Finland are going to struggle to find the back of the net, and that is a massive problem. In the group stage especially, is that if you don't get going, if your forwards don't start fast and get on the score sheet in those first couple games, you're going to find yourself going out the tournament. So I think it's important that Finland, that they're up against it today. I think Iceland have more quality, but once they've settled in Finland and got used to the game, what can they then do? Can they go and try and put Iceland under some pressure, and can they find someone who can put the ball in the back of the net?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying, by the way. This stadium's quite a remarkable one. It's quite small, but I'm going to be very intrigued to see what the camera angle's like. But it's got character to it. It seems to be nestled in the heart of a community, and you've got... I think it's quite fitting for a game like this, where it's not huge fan bases. Both countries especially Iceland, incredibly small population. So to bring such a strong attendance is quite good. But yeah, I think it's quite fitting for a game like this. Two sides who will be viewed as minnows coming into this tournament, but could spring a surprise, I feel. We'll get into predictions in a moment, so get involved in the live chat. Give us your predictions. Leia, tell us what the stream says. Hey from Uganda, so excited for the Euros. Come on, Finland. So Leia supporting Finland then in chat. If we look at the poll at the moment, 70% backing Iceland to win this game, 26% going for Finland, and 4% going for a draw. So at the moment, Iceland holding favour in the live chat. Let's go to our predictions here in the studio then, Harry. What are you predicting for this game?
I think it'll be competitive. I think that even though Iceland have probably got the better quality, that I don't expect them to start fast and suddenly begin the tournament brilliantly, score a goal in the first 10 minutes and take cruise control. I think Finland will make it slightly difficult for them. They will hang in there for quite a while, but it feels like one of those games where quality will eventually prevail. I will go Iceland 2, Finland 1. I think Finland will make a real go of it as it's the opening game. A lot of fans have travelled, by the way, from Finland. A huge support for them. They're happy to be back as one of the 16 sides at the Euros and are going to try and make an impression on this tournament. But I just think Iceland will have too much quality for them today. I think it could be one of those where Finland take the lead through Sahlstrom, and it puts them in a great position, and it's one of those where, what if, can Finland kick this tournament off with a big win, but Iceland will eventually work their way back into it in the second half, and I will go for goals from Eriksdottir and Andersdottir.
Fair enough. I will say slightly more comfortable victory for Iceland. I'm going to say 3-1. I think Finland will get a goal in this game. Well, it could be 3-0, but I'm going to go for 3-1. Give Finland a bit of credit. I think it'll be a brace from Svindis Jonsdottir, and I'll say a goal from Leia Williamsdottir.
Yeah.
Or Carolina Leia Williamsdottir. I think they're quite a strong team, this Iceland team. They're a side I think are going to go rather deep in this competition, actually. I think they'll kick that off today with quite a convincing performance. As for a Finland goal, I'll say I'll go Jutta Rantala off the bench. I don't know if we'll see her today, but I'm optimistic that we will. And if she does come off the bench and score, then maybe Finland will view that as we've got to play Rantala for our hopes. But I think that could be an important part in this game if Rantala can feature at all. Yeah, that could be quite useful. Jack Williams going 3-0 Iceland. Welcome to the stream. Phil saying 3-0 Iceland as well. It seems to be the popular pick then. A fairly comfortable Iceland victory. But do get involved in the live chat if you haven't already, because you will now be rewarded with XP.
Everyone's favourite.
I'm not sure where that's come from. I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm loving it in the live chat. And Leia going 2-1 Iceland. So, unanimous, really. Or it could be 2-1 Finland, actually. Because Leia's been supporting Finland, so I'm not sure. But a 2-1 prediction from Leia as well. But most of the support, most of the belief is that Iceland will win this game.
Yeah, it's one of those where I think that I understand the 3-0 prediction. I think that 3-0 is that scoreline that is just between being a convincing win but not being out of control. Yeah. But I do think Iceland have the quality to do that to Finland, but I just think opening game I'm not, especially because Iceland haven't won in their last 5. I'm not expecting them to come out and be playing at 110%. So I do think it will be a little bit closer, but I think Finland, they will try and hang in there, and they could surprise us if they start fast and get an early goal. That's happy days, and that will be the goal, because if Sabaleta can get his side to start fast and go 1-0 up, suddenly they've got something to defend, and that could be absolutely crucial. And that will be a slight doubt for Iceland, because they know if they do fall behind, Finland are going to make it very, very difficult to get it back. Even if Iceland only got one back and end up drawing the game, that is still a more positive result from Finland than it would be for Iceland. So Iceland, they've just got to be careful they don't get caught out. But yeah, overall, I think they have got the quality to put aside this Finland team. For Finland, it's about being frustrating. If you can get something to defend, then brilliant. If not, just hang in there and then take your opportunities. Biggest thing when you go into these tournaments and it goes for any side, no matter if you're a smaller side or if you're one of the top sides. If you don't take your chances at international tournaments, that can you're practically shooting yourself in the foot, because we've seen it in tournaments before where sides have played brilliantly for 80 minutes, not managed to score, and then the opposition go and get a goal out of nothing, and suddenly you're in a really difficult situation. So it's important that when you have your chances, when you get an opportunity that presents itself in these games, then you've got to take it, and you reap the rewards from it if you do.
Yeah. Are you surprised to see Antonsdottir over Dani Brynjarsdottir today?
I think it's one of those for Iceland where the rotation is a healthy thing. The option there is that the squad depth isn't like extremely high quality, but I think across the board they've got a good bunch of players who are of very similar level. So if you chopped and changed a few players in there, it wouldn't make too much of a difference. So I think it's just preference really in this first game.
Resting a little in what should be their easiest match of the group stage. Well, it will be Finland to get us started in this game. Then the opening match of the 2025 Women's Euros here in Thun. Finland will get us underway. And the ball's not back. And we're underway for our first match, the opening game of the 2025 Women's Euros in Switzerland. It's Iceland versus Finland in this opening game of Group A. And Finland ultimately launching it long to start this game. Have the Iceland starting from this corner then. Arnardottir takes the long throw out of the line. Eriksdottir trying to get a foot on that ball, trying to restore some control in this match. But that is out for a Finland throw, much to the frustration there of Arnardottir. So it's just going to be a battle here of who can settle into this game quickest, who can get over those pre-match nerves and settle down, because neither side are yet.
Yeah, 100%. Comes down to, if one side can just get a foothold in the game and get the ball down and play football, they will gain control. While it's this hot potato stuff and the ball's bouncing around and it's getting smashed up in the air, it could go either way.
So it does look like Jason's operating through the middle then, and Jonsdottir will play on the left-hand side, at least to start. Which is an interesting development. A little bit of a miscommunication there between Arnardottir, but she has won the ball back. Get it out the line.
It's one of those for Iceland where that front three is pretty interchangeable. You've got three players there for who can pretty much all of them can play anywhere across the front three, and that is good because it does mean that if you get a situation where they've had to swap over or something, or hey, Iceland runs into the wide channels, you've got two players who can easily just be that presence in the penalty area to aim for, which is something you don't have with other sides. Sometimes you see the striker get dragged wide, and then suddenly there's no presence in the middle. But with Iceland, they've got three kind of good figureheads in that front line, which can be very useful.
There's a fair bit of physicality there, especially with Jason. I think that's why they preferred her in this opening game against a Finnish side who have very aggressive physical defenders, is putting someone in there who will match them for physicality. And then maybe in the more technical games, they put Jonsdottir through the middle where she can have more joy. And that was a messy challenge. And that's been given as a free kick. And this is dangerous territory then for Iceland. It was clumsy from Eva Nystrom. Got wrong-footed there by the Iceland player and drags her down just outside the penalty area. But Finland exposed there, and Iceland with a free kick now in a dangerous area.
Yeah, it's exactly what Jason can do. The ball throw goes into her and she just used her physicality up against Nystrom. And to be honest, I think Nystrom's a little bit unlucky because Jason is backing herself into her, but she does throw her down, picks up a yellow card inside the first 2 minutes of the tournament.
She knows what she's doing there, Jason. Yeah. And Nystrom now as the central centre-back in this system, a player who plays a really important position, is on a yellow card for 88 minutes.
Yeah, really good play. I don't think that Katalin Kulska had much choice but to book her there. It's a promising position for Iceland, and we hope that they can try and use this free kick.
Indeed. So, Williamsdottir over it then. And Iceland players queuing up in the box to try and take advantage of this situation. Really nice area for this free kick. Karolina Williamsdottir towards the back post, and that is headed out. And that will be a corner. Iceland can continue to put the pressure on. Yeah,
perfect area to put that in there. Williamsdottir just hooks it towards the back post, and you either your player gets there and it ends up being a goal, or goes towards goal, or a defender has to put it out for a corner, and that's exactly what they've got. And another opportunity as she switches sides to get this in the Finland box and put them under early pressure.
Yeah, it was Quicker in there who dealt with that. And as you say, Williamsdottir over this again. Then they've got height this Iceland side. They're looking for Vigusdottir. They're looking for Sigurdardottir. They've got players who can meet this Jason as well. Williamsdottir puts it on the goalkeeper who pushes it away. Wow, a strike from range blocked by our own player in there. A bit of a scrappy one. And that has been given us an offside call in there then. And that will be a Finland free kick. And they're going to look to play this quickly then, but that is a misplaced pass. Trying to play it too quickly. Mocha, welcome to the stream. Says, where are you guys watching it? We're in the UK, so it's on ITV. If you're outside the UK, then I'm not sure. CM says, hi lads, so excited for the Euros. Seems strange not having the host as the first match. And Phil agrees as well. Yeah, usually you have the hosts on their own on the opening night, but they've gone for a slightly different setup here. I think with how condensed the tournament is, it would have been difficult to set it up any other way.
Yeah.
Instead, you've got groups playing. It's like Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, and then it rotates around in that order. Rather than sometimes you have you end up with teams playing on different days. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But yeah, personally, I prefer having the hosts. It gives it a bit more. It makes it a bit more special to have a host starting. But this is still a very exciting game to kick off this tournament. And HB, welcome to the stream as well. Supporting the Arsenal players in these games. So it must be a neutral for this. I think they're the Arsenal players.
I think that you're right. Look at the Women's World Cup in 2023. The way that New Zealand opened the tournament against Norway, and it was a brilliant.
That one was a little weird because obviously Australia and New Zealand were joint hosts, so that one was a little bit different. But yeah, I remember back to Euro 2020. I can't remember Euro 24 for some reason. But Euro 2020, it was Italy-Turkey, and that game had loads of expectation and hype around it. I think you put Switzerland-Norway on without anything before it, you have that same sort of thing. I don't think, obviously, tonight's still going to be a very exciting game. I think you just make it a little bit more special. But I get that when you've got only 2 games a day each day, you can't really move one out to have one on its own. So, yeah. And starting at 5 o'clock would have been weirder, I think, for Switzerland. You want them opening night. Yeah, Finland, though, on the attack. Erling being forced back there. Here is quite a Tanila. Nice pass forward, and they're battling away for it. Salstrom in there, loses possession. Williams Dottir, nudged off by Summonen. Here's Salstrom onto Kossela. And now here come Finland. Looks to run at Arna Dottir. Nice movement into the box. Headed away by Vigos Dottir. Really well dealt with there with the Iceland back line. Finland putting them under pressure then with their tricky wide player, Kossela.
Yeah, it's become very scrappy, and that's exactly what you expect from the early stages between two sides who don't quite have the experience that you'd see. But this is brilliant from Kossela, getting the ball down and doing something with it and running into a very decent space. And have won Finland a corner, and that's exactly what they needed, because Iceland have won the early passages, but Finland working their way back into this.
It's also interesting to see Finland play the same setup that they've played against weaker sides, when actually they've changed to a 3-back when they're playing stronger teams. So they clearly fancy their chances and want to attack teams at this competition. That's a ball in towards the back post, will be claimed there well by Runar Dottir. Does drop it, but it is dealt with by Arna Dottir. That will allow Finland to keep the attack alive here. Kossela. Pass inside. Here's Nystrom, who finds herself in an advanced position here, looking to make something happen. A lifted ball out into the right space. Ria Erling into the box now, looking for Summonen. Dealt with. Still not cleared away though. Big save from Runar Dottir. And that could have been an opportunity. And the manager on the sidelines there, animated, the Finnish head coach. Can't believe they haven't took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, really messy from Iceland. Just failed to deal with it, and it's a good save. It was a shot straight at Runar Dottir, but she still had to deal with it and does well to hold on to that one. She failed to hold on to the corner. But Finland showing that when they do get a chance to get into Iceland's penalty area and put them under pressure, they can. And yeah, Marco Sabalenta, I was going to praise how cool and calm he looked in the opening stages. He looked like the most composed man, or a composed person on the whole pitch, but he's getting up for this game. I think he's starting to get into it.
His heat maps to be stronger than anyone on the pitch.
Yeah.
He's up and down that touchline like crazy. But I love it. You want to see that passion on the sideline. It's brilliant.
And that'll massively help. But that's exactly what Finland need. When you have a good passage, if your manager is animated and getting up for it, then that's extra motivation. But good stuff from Finland. They had the corner, kept the pressure on, and had the first shot on target of the Euros.
Summonen with a ball fed through, not quite able there to pick out one of the forward players though, and now Iceland will build out from the back. So now we're going to get to see Iceland actually play some football. They've not really had a foot on the ball. A lot of the time they've been clearing it away. It's been very rushed, very haphazard. But here is Runar Dottir. Now to Vigos Dottir. Back to Runar Dottir. And she is under pressure here. Brave in possession there. And will be rewarded finding the pass out to Helena Eriksdottir. Doesn't quite come away with the ball. Does fall for Arna Dottir though. But Helena Eriksdottir is just holding on to it a little bit too long there. They have got away with it. Nice drive forward from Arna Dottir. Across now to the left-hand side with Arna Dottir. And now Jons Dottir can take on her fullback. up against Emma Koivisto. It's going to be a good battle on this left-hand side today. Jonsdottir tries to drive inside. Footwork just not quite there, though. Koivisto does really well to get between her and the goal.
What a battle that is between a very young, exciting winger and an experienced fullback who has played at many levels, at a high level for a consistent period. Really good battle. As you said, initially the footwork was really sharp and very dangerous from Jonsdottir, but the experience of Koivisto just to get her body in the way and let her teammate, one of her other teammates, come and take the ball.
Does it feel like Iceland may have... I mean, obviously we'll see how that battle goes between Koivisto and Jonsdottir, but if Koivisto can get the better of her, have Iceland inadvertently nullified their own biggest threat?
Potentially so, because you say if they put her through the middle or on the right hand side, she, it's going no offense, but she's going up against weaker opponents, or players of not as much experience as Koivisto. That's a big challenge, but Iceland get away with it.
There is Jonsdottir, nice pass inside to Viljansdottir, can get a shot away here. Did that take a deflection? Not sure it did. Just leant back there and let fly, and it is into the crowd and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a big tackle on Koivisto. Both players went in. It's a fair challenge. It's a really good challenge. Iceland come away with it. But yeah, Viljansdottir just got under that. She's in a good position as well. Had a lot of time and space to take that shot, and ends up just clubbing it almost high and wide. But 10 minutes in, what we've seen is when Iceland get the ball down and play their football, they look the better side. But when Finland frustrate them and turn it into make it a bit more chaotic, then Finland do have an opportunity to try and cause some problems.
And that's a ball sent long by Tenila, looking now for the run of Sahlström. Iceland do have the ball though now. Vigosdottir. And again, launches it long here, looking for Jason, who can't keep it in touch. I'm not sure why the both sides are playing very direct at the moment. But we'll see how that develops. Una Sirden into Quaker. Now to the right-hand side, Emma Koivisto looking to stretch this play. Jonsdottir will go and narrow the angle and does win the ball back. Now Iceland deep in their own area, looking to play out. And there's a ball up the line that won't find anyone apart from Quaker.
I think Iceland have been caught out by Finland's intensity so far.
Yeah.
I think they were very much expecting Finland to sit deep, let Iceland have the ball, and then start to intervene when Iceland reached got into their half. But Finland, they're up for this. They're being positive, and I think they're just forcing Iceland to go longer and to rush things a little bit. Iceland want to get the ball down, play their football, and build a brilliant move. But Finland are just forcing that ball to go long.
Well, Finland are forcing Iceland's hands. The way that they've played so far, by being more direct, and then when they because a lot of the time they're sending that ball long, and oftentimes they're losing possession then. But as soon as Iceland have those settled possession phases in their deep on the field, Finland pounce on them. Finland are right there, ready to go and put pressure on them. So they make it really difficult to play out of those situations. So yeah, it's been interesting to watch so far. But Finland making life really difficult for a team in Iceland who a lot of people favour to get out of the group stage. Kuika, again looking for that long ball. And we'll try and execute it to this left-hand side. Here's Kosola. Has Arnardottir and is isolated against her. Really effectively will come inside. Kosola takes aim and curls on just over the bar. But they did really well there, Finland, to drag Iceland's backline apart. Everyone for Iceland was on the other side of the field. And Kosola isolated here against Arnardottir and was able to take her on well. And that finish, inches away from glory.
Yeah, not bad at all. That diagonal ball across the field causing a lot of problems. And that Kosola's already had some proved to be dangerous, tricky feet and a decent decent strike. But that was the most dangerous. Did well just to get it onto her right foot and give herself half a yard to work with, just over the bar. But definitely troubling Iceland, and that's exactly what Finland have got to do. Yeah. Just get those shots off, put them under pressure, and if that goes into the top right corner, she scored a brilliant goal. But B, Finland are 1-0 up.
That's a poor pass from Siren, goes to Jonsdottir, but Siren makes up for a mistake. I feel at the moment Iceland are lacking battle in midfield, a bit of physicality in there. I feel like Brynjarsdottir is a miss in there. You've got Antonsdottir, you've got Johansdottir, both players who are looking to try and play some tidy football, but at the moment they're just getting muscled off by this Finnish midfield. And the look at a play, super direct there, Finland, but it's cut out by Arnardottir, and Iceland now can look to play out from the back again. Runarsdottir. And now Iceland are playing into Finland. They're just trying to invite that pressure and play into the space behind them. Because at the moment, Finland are doing really well just to sit in a mid-block. Make life really difficult for Iceland. Iceland now looking to play out Runarsdottir. Pass down the left-hand side from Sigurdardottir. Really good from Koivisto to win that header. But it does fall into the hands of Iceland. That's a poor pass down the line. A bit of miscommunication there between Antonsdottir and Jonsdottir. And that's had a play for a Finland throw.
Yeah, Finland are first to everything at the moment. It's a good pressing. They force the ball long and they win that header. That's exactly what they're doing. Every challenge, every aerial ball that they are winning and they are getting on top of. And again, it's scrappy there, but they're the ones who come away with the throw. Being really smart about it, Finland. It's just about how long can they keep this intensity up? How long can they keep pressing and keep going at Iceland? Because if they do slip up, then Iceland will play through them and have a good opportunity.
Nice Strom pass out wide, not quite able to get there. Kasola playing that ball down the line. Sastrom denied by Vigersdottir.
Yeah, that's what Iceland need to do. If Finland do get opportunities, just clear it, just deal with it. Not take away any threat in the opening stages.
Yeah. Shot there, going to fall for Kasola. It's been the most dangerous player so far. Takes aim, and that's a brilliant stop from Runarsdottir. Gets across well and palms it out for a corner. Finland, the side of the ascendancy in the first 15 minutes here.
Again, it's Kasola just picking the ball up in a very decent area. It fell to her kindly, but it's a brilliant strike. But what a save that is. That's a really good save because that is up, that is high, and that's on the other side of the goal. And to get two strong hands, but we see so many times that save can sometimes go through a goalkeeper's hand and go in, but two strong palms to knock it around the post. But Finland, more pressure and another corner.
And it's Evelina Summonen to put that onto the keeper again, but it's on top of the net. And a bit of reprieve for Iceland, who've been under the cosh in the opening encounters.
Yeah, Runarsdottir being called into action on more than one occasion already in the opening 15 minutes. Right idea this from Summonen, trying to get it towards the back post, trying to put it on the goalkeeper, but just a little bit too much curl on it.
Yeah.
But good start. Yeah, this is what you want to see from the opening game. Two sides that are playing decently and taking the game to each other.
Yeah, indeed, and now they'll look to play forward. Iceland, Eriksdottir, ball down the line, looking for Williamsdottir, who's made the most advanced run here, and that is poor there from Finland's goalkeeper Koivunen. Under pressure, lets the ball slip under her foot, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, that is the occasion. That was the on-rushing Williamsdottir who was chasing it down with intensity.
She couldn't decide there between just smashing it long and playing a pass, and ultimately didn't make a decision and let that ball run under her foot, hit her foot on the way through, and that is out for a corner. And now Iceland could look to put pressure on Finland from this set piece. Williamsdottir, very dangerous from dead ball situations. And they've got a bit of height in this Iceland team. Can they make something happen here? Williamsdottir. Ball not what they needed there towards the near post, actually, when everyone was queued up at the far post. Didn't have enough on it. Vigersdottir trying to keep that alive, and she's done well. And now Iceland on this right-hand side. Siren for Finland reorganising people, and Vigersdottir is down. And this was always going to be a concern for Vigersdottir, a player who has had a few injuries this season. Struggled a little bit with staying fit for Bayern. But she rushed. She got back in time for the Euros. And now he's down with a slight issue. And this will give both sides a moment just to take a minute, get some drinks on board. And, for Iceland, work out why they struggled so much in this first 18 minutes. So that gives us a chance to have a look at the chat. Justin saying, who's the most famous player on the pitch? Don't see anyone I know yet. You've got quite a few. I mean, Vigersdottir is down now, plays centre-back for Bayern Munich. You've got Svinas Jonsdottir, who used to be at Wolfsburg and now is at Angel City. You've got Karina Lea Williamsdottir, who's at Bayer Leverkusen. You've got Hlyn Eriksdottir, plays in the WSL for Leicester City. And then Finland, you've got a few WSL players. Una Siren at West Ham, Evelina Summonen at Tottenham. Evan Nystrom at West Ham as well. Emma Koivisto used to be at Liverpool, now at AC Milan. So there's a few that are quite well known. But then obviously a few as well who are more niche players. David says, did you see Chelsea signed Ellie Carpenter? Yeah, that's a very interesting signing. We are back underway now, though. Williams-Dottir trying to play out the line. And immediately Iceland give the ball away. Have won it back, though. Jason to Williams-Dottir. Goes down in a heap. Deemed not a foul by the referee. Siren Nystrom. Now Finland will look to play quickly out to this right-hand side. Koivisto brings it down well. Now back to Koika. Looking to go long. And that will run all the way through to Runarsdottir.
Yeah, Viggersdottir okay to continue. I mean, the way that Iceland huddled round there, to be fair, made it look a little bit more suspicious than it probably should have been. But let's see if that team huddle and break was what they needed to finally settle into this game and really play their stuff.
Runarsdottir launches it long, then a flick on from Williams-Dottir looking for Jason, hasn't quite come off. Now Finland trying to play forwards. Arnardottir caught out there by the bounce. Franzi will put Runarsdottir under pressure. Runarsdottir into the midfield, won back by Summanen. Can't quite pick out a teammate with that pass. And now it's Iceland's turn to attack. Eriksdottir plays it back inside to Anssonsdottir, out wide to Jason. Jason waiting for the overlap of Eriksdottir and had to wait a little bit too long. Nystrom cutting it out.
Yeah, right idea there, but the run just didn't come quick enough.
Yeah,
but again,
Eriksdottir would have had to be a flash to make it work.
100%. Those combinations starting to come together for Iceland.
Ternila out into this left-hand side. Franzi now on the ball. Has the overlapping run of the fullback. That will allow her to dummy it, then come inside, then back out wide to Ternila. Ternila dummies inside. Ball towards the back post. Down a heap at the far post. Was one of the Finland forwards, but I can't see them giving that. It's Koivisto. Not enough in it, and that is an Iceland goal kick.
Yeah, the player who looked least certain that was a penalty was Koivisto. It's not a bad, but it's a teasing ball in. The ball's into a great area, just no one's made the run. Looking towards that back post. Is there anything in it at all? No, not at all. I mean, it's a little bit lucky because the Icelandic defender there is not looking at the ball and is watching Koivisto, but when the ball actually comes in, there's nothing in it.
Really good pressure there from Franzi, forcing the error out of Arnardottir, and that will allow Finland now to put a bit of pressure on Iceland again. Ternila tries to find Sarstrom. Lovely turn from the forward. Needs some support in this high position then for Finland. Back now to Ternila. And that's out wide with Kasola. The pass inside to Summanen. Summanen looking to make something happen. Will lift it across to Una Siren. Now they can come forwards. Try to play a pass, but that is cut out by Anssonsdottir. And now Iceland will look to come forwards. Jason. Arnardottir. Jonsdottir trying to compete for that ball. Seen out well though by Koivisto. Shelton Guy, welcome to the stream, says, wouldn't both these teams need to win this game because the other two would be favourites to get out of the group? It depends on your perspective on things. I think Iceland are considered to be a stronger side right now than Switzerland, but both teams are fairly similar in terms of quality. I think this is probably the tightest group because Norway should be favourites, but Norway famously always underperform at tournaments. So will it be their year they finally get rid of that, or they finally make things click, or will that continue? That's the big question. But yeah, broadly, a win in any knockout, any tournament game is important for getting through. But this would be probably the most important for both these sides.
Yeah, from an Iceland point of view, it would take the pressure off massively because if they do drop points today, then they have to go to Switzerland or Norway and get a result. If they win today, then that sets them up in a really nice position, especially if Switzerland and Norway draw later on. For Finland, a win would be brilliant. To be honest, even a point, I think a draw would be a really strong result.
Yeah, definitely. Here's Koeka. Out to the right-hand side, Koivisto. Plays it down the line. Ria Erling now. Tries to put the ball into the box. And that will go to Runarsdottir. Soyev Mia predicting 1-0 at half-time to Finland, I believe, with the white love heart. That would put Iceland under a fair bit of pressure. And we expected Iceland. Iceland usually dominate the ball. Only 51% of possession in this game.
I think they'll be frustrated at the lack of control they've got in this game.
Yeah.
because it's not like a 0-0 where it's okay. They're in control. The goal will come eventually. It's a 0-0. It's been very even, and to be fair, Finland have had the better chances and have put Runarsdottir under more pressure than Iceland have on Finland's goal.
Yeah, on Koivunen. I think Iceland have had 2 or 3 moments where we've seen what they can actually do, but the rest of the half, it's not been what we expected from Iceland. It really does feel like Turkey 2020. Everyone expects them to be the underdogs, the dark horses of this tournament, but is that expectation too high? Because so far, Finland have looked the better side in this game, and that isn't what anyone expected to see. Arnardottir. A pass back now to Runarsdottir. And a panicked ball into the midfield will be brought down well by Antonsdottir. Now Iceland could play. Lifts it in behind. Not sure who she's looking for, though. And again, it feels like they're looking for Jonsdottir, but she's not there because it's Jason leading the line. And Jason wants it to feet. So it feels like a bit of a miscommunication there. And Eriksdottir leading with the hands in that challenge and has committed a foul.
Yeah, there's, again, that whole move there for Iceland summed up perfectly what was going on. The first initial bit was brilliant. The way that they took the ball down, took a couple of touches, went round the player, lovely. And then the ball went long. And that's where it's breaking down. That's where it's going wrong for Iceland. So, they're showing that the moments where they are doing what they need to do, and then they're kind of just throwing that all away by doing something really rash. They just need to settle down.
Yeah, Antonio said it's a little bit quiet. If anyone else in chat is having the same problem, let us know, because we have had issues with sound this week. Eriksdottir tries to put it in there, cleared away well. Rizwan says it's good that women's football is rising, definitely. Hopefully we see it continue to rise over the next few years. I think this tournament, hosted in Switzerland, is a good chance for Swiss women's football to grow. As we've seen it already do over the last decade. But I think this is a real opportunity for people to watch even more. And as we saw in England and Netherlands in the last 2 editions, when you host a tournament like this, it does get fans and people who haven't watched the women's game before interested in the sport. Lovely long throw from Jonsdottir. That's a little bit of pressure on Iceland. Chance just about dealt with by Finland. Jason takes aim. That one's blocked and now cleared away. But already we're seeing there the impact a Jonsdottir long throw can have for Iceland.
Yeah, put Finland in all kinds of pressure. And that's another kind of goalmouth scramble that we've seen Finland get away with. But again, Iceland...
Take back to the Scotland game. They did that 1 or 2 times. But if you can get away with it, then it's all right.
Yeah, 100%. But
Fancy.
Again, just relying on getting bodies in the way and eventually getting that ball clear.
Here's Kasola. Wants to run at Arnardottir. Does really well to drive inside, and that is cleared away by Sigurdardottir. And out for a Finland throw.
Again, really sharp from Kasola down this left-hand side. Causing problems going both ways and making it difficult to defend against.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting to see because we'd have expected to see Francie on the right-hand side, but we've seen Francie play more on the on the left-hand side. We've seen her more on the right-hand side. Tanila. Siren. Back to Tanila. Pokes a ball through into Siren in quite a high position. Chance now for Francie, trying to wriggle some room for a shot. Going backwards and forwards just to lay it off there. Probably the wrong decision. Jonsdottir clears away. Now they could break Iceland. Jason, Williamsdottir, they're just caught out there by even having possession Iceland. They're not on it at the moment. That was a great situation there where they finally had a moment where they were breaking away on the counter and it just all went wrong.
Yeah, they haven't settled and they've just... again, that's the thing, that should have been that move there. Once they win the ball back, they should have turned over 2-3 passes and been on the break.
I've not been impressed by Koivunen with the limited things we've seen her do. Iceland have got to test her a bit more. Because so far, that was an unconvincing parry away from the Jonsdottir long throw. We've seen when the ball came back to her, it went under her foot. They've got to test her a bit more, Iceland, in this game. 100%. Because that's how they'll have joy. But they've not put a shot on target yet. Apart from that one there. That was more a throw on target with a flick off. Arnthun says, Arnthun says, can Finland win? I mean, they can. They're at the moment. I wouldn't have said so before kickoff, or I wouldn't expect them to do so before kickoff, but they've played incredibly well in this game, Finland. Kasola trying to come forwards. Really well dealt with there by Antonsdottir. And now Iceland will look to play. Vigusdottir. Antonsdottir. Can Iceland come forwards? Here is Hlyn Eriksdottir. The ball up the line. Finds Viljansdottir. But it's much more physical from Finland at the moment. Viljansdottir is not having an impact at all. And that's a big part of it. Jonsdottir is not having enough of an impact. Summonum. Lays it to Erling, who could strike it from this sort of area, and it's a good stop from Viljansdottir. But the difference is at the moment Finland are testing the goal.
Yeah, 100%.
7 shots to 2, 3 on target to none. That's night and day difference at the moment. That's who's getting attempts away. While possession it is actually just in favour of Iceland. But it doesn't matter if you can't get shots away. That one was a confusing one from the referee there. Koivisto went down under limited pressure from Jonsdottir, put her hands on the ball. Little bit of a soft one, I thought.
Again, it's the smart, it's the experience winning out there.
Yeah, she throws herself on the floor in front of Jonsdottir and then picks up the ball.
Yeah, it's smart, really smart, but yeah, unlucky for Iceland that one. Probably should have come away with the ball or a free kick.
There's Kasola looking to run at Arnardottir and just gets it stuck in her feet there. Tanila clips the ball towards the back post and unable to get there is Ria Erling. Emma Koivisto, sorry, but they're doing really well at the moment, Finland, to put Iceland under pressure.
Yeah, they're building well, and they just it's not happened for them yet. But yeah, they've done really well to kind of put themselves into a good position. After half an hour.
Here's Runar's and I don't think it's a good thing for Iceland that the player that's touched the ball the most in this game is probably the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
We've seen so much Runar's they're just not getting the ball forwards and playing quick enough. Here's Viljansdottir trying to play out the line. It's not going to come to anything. At the moment, Iceland are hitting and hoping. Half an hour into this game and they've still not settled into this European Championships. Finland look a much more settled side, a much more comfortable side.
Yeah. That's what pressure does to you. Finland come into this with no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah.
Obviously there's some from their nation, but again, most of it is all praise and positivity. For Iceland, yes, I think from the nation no one expects anything, but a lot of people think they're going to do well.
Really nice stuff there from France, from Zalstrom, who'll carry the ball forwards, looking for some support, plays it towards France. He's going to fall for Kasola, who'll strike it and not far away again. She's just got to get a little more whip on that ball. So far, we're seeing her open up her body really nicely and strike it, but she's got to get a foot around the ball a little bit more to make it curl into the corner. But she's at the moment, they're finding her in so much space on this left-hand side.
I really hope at some point in this tournament she will just curl that into the top right corner. That's the third or fourth time it's just fallen to her on her right foot, and she's looked to find that far right-hand corner. 2 of them have forced good saves out of Runar's. That one just... She ran onto it and hit it first time. The ball already had pace, and she just added more to it, and it was just too much.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think she's adding a lot of power to the ball. It's just maybe taking a little bit of power, a little less power, but getting that direction there, getting that technique there. So far though, Finland giving Iceland a lot of trouble, and Iceland for a second time play is delayed to Vigusdottir. I think that will be the end of her afternoon. It's
a shame. It's a big shame.
Yeah.
As the captain, understandably, she's tried to make her way back and be ready for this European Championships, but it looks to be just a little bit rushed and a little bit too soon.
Indeed, I think there will be a change then. They are just checking if Vigusdottir can continue with that. Look like a shake of the head.
But again, they've got to be smart about it, because if it's something that they can just manage, it might be that she doesn't make the groups, but she could be available for the knockouts, and that is really important. So the sub that was being readied has now put a bib on, so they're gonna at least wait.
Well, it's Heidarsdottir that they're looking to bring on, who traditionally plays as more of a left back, left wing back type player. So I assume they'd move Tanila into left centre half and bring on Heidarsdottir into that wide full back position. Oh, sorry, no, wrong team. Move Arnardottir to centre half. But yeah, that is
not ideal. It's not ideal at all. But that's the thing, you've got to Again, it's that balance between taking it game by game, but also being smart about it. Because if you can rest her up and not risk anything serious, and then she can be available for the knockouts, back the 11 out there to get you through to those quarterfinals.
Yeah. Tanila. Now Kasola. At the moment, it's a makeshift team for Iceland because they're down a player. Kasola plays it forward into Sarstrom, holds the ball up nicely, needs some support. Takes aim there. Francie unable to get a clean shot away. Tanila comes away without the ball. It's Williamsdottir who comes away with it. Plays a pass into Jason. Jason trying to hold the ball up. Tries to knock it back but doesn't quite come off. They want to get Vigosdottir back on it. I just feel like someone's got to be a bit sensible here. We've seen her go down twice in half an hour. Now she may be able to do another 10 minutes and get to the half, I guess, is the thinking, and then have 15 minutes to rest.
Yeah.
But yeah, this feels unnecessary.
If you're Finland, that's your target now. They're coming down the left-hand side anyway.
They're building up down the right to create space on the left, and it's working really well. Iceland, the defense is so narrow they don't get to Kasola quick enough, and then when they do, it's just the right back that will be yellow, and that comes back based on the rest reaching for a pocket. Finland coming forwards though, and that does spill out to Evelina Summonen out to the right hand side. Not enough on that pass, poked out of play by Arna Dottir. And interestingly, the ref isn't going back and booking the player that she was going to book.
Yeah.
When the play, she played advantage for Finland.
Yeah. Finland were annoyed they couldn't use that advantage being played. But I think if you're Finland now, with the way you've been playing, you'd love to nick a goal for, say nick a goal, sorry, but it wouldn't be, anything unjust about it. But they'll want to try and find the back of the net in the next 9 minutes while they're still playing well, while Iceland aren't settled, and hopefully they can try and take a goal advantage into half time. Yeah. As HB says, Finland will kick themselves for not going ahead here. They've been the side in the ascendancy. They've got to take advantage of that. Tanila. Running out of options here under pressure from Eriksdottir, who does win the ball back here. A pass inside to Jason, looking for Eriksdottir again, but it doesn't come off. And Iceland it's not quite clicking when they do get the ball. No.
Pass up the line. Again, no target for Anton Stottir's pass.
Yeah, Finland will happily watch that roll out of play all day long. But yeah, I think that Finland will definitely be, the Finland fans and coaching staff will definitely be the happier team in the first 37 minutes. But if they're just missing that goal, they've had opportunities, they haven't taken them. You feel like it could happen. It could definitely happen in this first half.
That's the right-hand side now for Finland. Here's Emma Koivisto. Can she deliver a ball into the box? Tries to. Is brought down there. It's a good tackle. And that is out now for a corner. And Koivisto now down in a little discomfort. Will get up rather, slowly, but does get up.
Yeah. Again, Finland coming forward in their numbers. Iceland backpedaling. And again, it's an opportunity. They didn't really come to anything, but they've managed to win themselves a corner.
Well, Sigurdardottir Dottir just tried. I don't know why she panicked. She just tries to knock it out of play. And rather than going out for a throw, it's out for a corner. This is a great chance now for Finland. We know how good Summonen is at taking these.
Yeah.
And it will be Evelina Summonen over it again then for Finland. Looks to deliver it. Drilled into the box. Runarsdottir claims it. Now they'll be looking to break quickly, but Runarsdottir goes down instead.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's done well to turn that wanting a yellow card, waving for a yellow card, into a throw of frustration. Because the arm initially went up asking for a yellow. And then...
Francie's, where's she going to go? Runarsdottir runs right at Francie, and she does get a free kick for her troubles, but not sure what she expects there.
Runarsdottir is keeping Iceland in this game at the moment.
Yeah.
She's played well. She had a good 38 minutes. But yeah, I
think Vigosdottir has done well as well. She just keeps going down injured.
I think defensively, Iceland are doing well, but they don't want to be on the back foot. They don't want to be the ones defending and having to make saves to keep this game level. They want to be the side making the difference and going out and taking control of this match.
Tanila plays up the line. Viggersdottir heads it down. And now they look to play out here, Iceland. Eriksdottir does well to keep that ball on the pitch. And now Viljámsdottir with space to drive into. Poach one through for Jónsdottir. Iceland in a good position. Ball across the to Jason. Huge block in there from Emma Koivisto, and then is caught in the aftermath by Jason. That is such an important intervention. Because Iceland, if not, we're in for a chance.
Yeah.
And again, Jónsdottir through the middle here makes the run in beyond, and it makes a difference. And suddenly it's their best chance of the game so far.
Yeah, timed the run beautifully. It's a dangerous ball across the box, but Koivisto, that is superb defending. Absolutely brilliant defending. Just slides in, almost predicts the shot coming, dives in and gets the block in.
Really good stuff. Well, there wasn't a lot else Jason could do, so it was predictable for Koivisto, but she did what she needed to. Really important intervention. Iceland, though, showing you get Jónsdottir through the middle, you're going to create chances. That was their first one on target.
Yeah.
That would have hit the target at least. So good opportunity. 5 minutes left of this half then. And now, suddenly, momentum seems to just have shifted a little, and Iceland with another long throw opportunity with Jónsdottir.
I love these long throws. So, just the way that they take a minute, and then the centre halves come trudging forwards, and everyone piles into the penalty area. Risky but effective.
I like it so because it's a normal throw. No one would allow any of that to happen. That didn't go particularly well.
No.
Like, imagine a normal throw. People are getting annoyed when it takes more than 3 seconds. With this one, let people get forwards, let people run back. It's just, it's just crazy to me. But you're sort of unable to make that one work.
Yeah, it did feel like a long way out. And unless you're Megan Campbell, you're not going to find the penalty area from there.
Well, Jónsdottir can pull that off.
Mm.
And even if you get it towards the front post and just get a flick on, it's still an opportunity. But yeah, that did feel a little over-optimistic. Eriksdottir to take on Francie. Nice movement. Tries to flick it to Viljámsdottir, who will then deliver it in towards the back post. A header down. Something to run onto for Arnardottir. But that is now out for a Finland goal kick.
Again, good move from Iceland. Eriksdottir looking, good tidy footwork on this right-hand side. Does well to just lay it into Viljámsdottir, who puts a decently dangerous ball in. But again, Finland smart about it. Force the initial header wide and then smartly win a goal kick.
The problem there is it needs to be a left-footed ball.
Yeah.
Really. To cross it as an in-swinger rather than an out-swinging delivery. Throw on then. Finland will look to come forwards here. Battling away for possession. That was a bit of an elbow from France if it gets away with it. And here come Finland. That's an optimistic ball through the lines from Erling. Kasola won't get there. Back now to Runarsdottir, who has had all of the ball so far.
Yeah. Been a busy half for Iceland's keeper. A lot busier than I think she would have expected and Iceland would have expected going into this game. But alas, it's still level as it stands, and then that will be the main thing for Iceland, is that they are still level, even though they haven't, got past 60-70% yet.
Yeah. Mooney Chan do ask, hoping that Iceland will score 2. Sanjay saying no goals. We don't think there should be any goals in this game, Sanjay.
What a way to open the tournament that would be.
0-0 draw. I think that'd be very favourable for Norway and Switzerland. They've got to be sitting there hoping it is a 0-0 draw.
Yes, they're probably the only 2 people that are hoping this will be a draw.
Nystrom, Summonen, now Koika. And they'll come forwards, Finland. Well prevented though by Anton's Dottir, and then that's over here from Viggo's Dottir. Just nothing's clicked yet for Iceland.
No,
really hasn't.
Even the moves forward have been a little bit clunky.
We've had a few flashes where they've done well, but just no consistency with it.
I mean, that's a foul try. But we play on. There's been a couple of them from both sides.
Summonen.
But that was the worst.
Koika. is into Siren, who knocks it to the left-hand side here with Kasola. Wants to take on Arna Dottir, and that is blocked there and down the heap in the box for Sastrom. No foul though.
Yeah, it was more Sastrom just stopped moving, and the momentum from Iceland players running back in just kind of bowled her over. But again, Kasola's the one looking sharp and causing problems.
Yeah.
And definitely has made the difference so far, but hasn't found the back of the net yet. Another corner though for Finland, 4th of the game. Another opportunity just before the half.
Yeah, and again it's Evelina Summerlin. And she'll float one towards the back post. Again, it's Runarsdottir's gloves. That is the destination. We've got 3 minutes of additional time in this first half now. 3 minutes for someone to try and find a breakthrough. And it's Iceland that are coming forwards. Arna Dottir. Ball up the line, headed down. Williamsdottir keeps it alive. Now pings one to this right-hand side. Looking for Eriksdottir. Does well to hold it up. A pass inside now. For Antonsdottir. Williamsdottir can't quite pull off the pass. There's a cheeky attempt there. With a little flick off the back heel. But unable to find the run of her teammate.
Yeah. Again, it's just a little bit of a kick ball long, and this time someone in a blue shirt got there. The move afterwards wasn't too bad. She didn't quite work.
No.
But it's just not. It's not the flowing stuff that we expected to see from Iceland.
It's a pass up to the right hand side of Kovisto's going to do everything she can to get there, but Sigurdottir under a lot of pressure there. I didn't think she had a hope in hell of getting there, but she busts a gap.
Yeah, I like it. Backed herself. She came from a long way back.
Almost did it. So Runarsdottir will slow the game to a halt again. Every time they play out from the back Iceland, she just stops completely on the ball. And they just invite the pressure, but at the moment they're not able to then play into the space they create. Yesem tries a crossfield pass. Siren will get there. Tanila. Finds Kasola, pass inside. Siren doing well to compete for it. Or Erling, sorry. Still going Erling. 1-2 with Kasola. Now Tanila. Pass out wide for Francie. Now Tanila again. Nystrom. Quaker. Lifting that ball over the top, but it's just going to bounce through and out of play for a goal kick. 30 seconds left then. Looks like that'll be all she wrote in this first half. Neither side able to break through. Finland probably the side that played the better stuff. Iceland falling short of expectations at the moment. Oof. I was going to say some menacing grey clouds on the horizon.
I'll say the sun is still out.
Ref blowing a whistle, and that is half time here in Turn. It is Iceland 0, Finland 0. Finland with a better chance in that first half because Sola's gone close to the few efforts, cutting inside and getting shots away, but unable to convert any of those opportunities. Iceland, well, they've not really had chances in this half. They've had a few fleeting opportunities, but nothing concrete. Viggarsdottir, the biggest story, as she's had to go down continuously injured. But at half-time, it's Iceland 0, Finland 0.
Nothing to separate the two sides so far. 45 minutes into the European Championships and yet to find a goal. But we've got 45 minutes to hope that this opening game isn't going to be a goalless draw. But it's been a good game. It's been an interesting game. I think that it's not what we expected. Finland have come out. They've been, on top. They've had a lot of control and they've played very well. And when they have got the ball, they've tried to catch Iceland out, and they've had some really good efforts, forced some good saves out of Runarsdottir and some big interceptions from that Iceland back four. But fair play to them. I think the intensity from Finland has been brilliant, and they're playing at a very, very top level right now. And if they can keep up that hard work and keep that level, I mean, the pace in everything they do, the press, the way they're moving the ball is really nice. They've just got to try and keep that up for another 45 minutes. And I think that they will be. My slight hesitation will be that they've had 45 minutes where they have been the better side and not taken advantage of it. They've got to be careful that Iceland don't come out in the second half, play a lot better, and cause them all kinds of problems. And suddenly, Finland go from being the side who look the most likely to take the 3 points away and end up in a very sticky situation. So they need to start taking their chances. They are playing well though, so if it keeps going as it is, I think eventually a goal will come for Finland. But they've just got to be careful that they don't get punished for not doing enough.
Yeah, what's gone so wrong then for Iceland? Struggling to play out from the back, struggling to create chances. What are the causes? What are the root problems there?
They've been caught out massively by Finland in the way Finland are set up, the way Finland are playing. I think that Iceland would have expected to have a lot more time than they're being given. We see them slowing down the ball, and they should just. What they're expecting to happen is to wait, and then eventually Finland will slowly come out to them, and then holes will open up. But Finland are getting out there hard and fast, and they're slowing it down. And if they do slow it down, suddenly it's like, well, hang on, oh my days, I've got a striker right on me now, and I've got to go long. And that has been what Finland have done so well, is they're forcing Iceland to go long, they're forcing Iceland to take on those difficult balls, and then they're winning it back. And they're taking the ball and turning it over for themselves, which is massive because it means that they're having a lot more of the ball than we expected. Iceland would have hoped to have 60-70% of the possession, just move the ball slowly up the pitch until they get to Finland's 18-yard box where they meet a wall of 5 players who are trying to stop them getting in. But Finland, they've set up differently. They're going for the game. They're coming at Iceland, and yeah, I think that it's caught Iceland out. I think they've been surprised by the way that Finland are playing, and credit to Finland and the coaching staff, because they've set up in a way that makes it. Obviously, there's been a lot of preparation time for these fixtures. They've known who they're going to play in the opening match, and clearly Finland have done their homework, and it's paid off in the first 45 minutes, just lacking that first goal.
Yeah, indeed. It's one of those situations that I look at how Finland have played, of how Finland have set up in this game, and I think Iceland have made the wrong assumptions that I made, the same assumptions that Finland would go back to playing the way they did in qualifiers, the way that got them to the tournament, rather than the more aggressive style that they've used in the Nations League. But they haven't. They haven't resorted to that. They have played a bit more aggressively. They have played a bit more on the front foot. So I think that has caught them out, and this is where Thorstein Halldórsson earns his wages, because now it's about how do you adapt to that. Because I think you see the lineup come out and you go, well, this could be the 3-4-3, it could be a more attacking formation. We'll wait and see. Now they know what's happened. They've had 45 minutes to dissect that. They've now got 15 minutes to change up what they're doing, because it's very difficult to implement huge tactical changes on a fly, on a whim. But this is now 15 minutes to change the tactical direction. How are you going to adjust to how Finland are playing in this game? It's very apparent to me that Iceland were expecting Finland to play more of a low block, when actually it's been a bit more of a mid-block / high press. It's been quite a stretched out of possession shape for Finland. So how do Iceland find a way through that? It's now the big question they've got to answer. How do they expose those gaps? Finland pressing asymmetrically. Can Iceland find a way through that? Can they invite the pressure, play into the corner that Finland are pressing them into, but then switch the ball? Can they do things like that that are going to catch Finland down? That's the big question. How do Iceland adjust to how Finland have played so far? But yeah, I think huge credit goes to Finland. They made life really difficult for them when they've come forward. Katarina Kasola has looked incredibly dangerous, running at Arna Dottir, taking on left and right, cutting inside and shooting, or going to the byline and crossing. She can go either way, and been incredibly dangerous in that position. Sarstrom's done well, I think. Her contribution in that first half will be underrated by many, undervalued. But the way she's dragged players out of the way, and the way that she's encouraged players to the other side of the pitch away from Kasola, has dragged players out of position and invited space for Casella to attack into. So really impressive stuff then from Finland.
Yeah, it's very much been that 1v1 on this left-hand side of Finland, on Iceland's right-hand side, between Arnarsdottir and Kasola. And I think that to have a winger that can go both ways is proving dangerous for Finland. I mean, Kasola, she's now cut inside 3 times. One's gone over the bar, one's been saved, and the other one also went over the bar. But it's one of those where I think that if she keeps getting on the ball and keeps getting the opportunity to cut inside, eventually she will find that far corner and will find the back of the net. And I think they've forced some Kasola and others here and had an opportunity. And they have forced some really good saves out of Runarsdottir, and credit to the Iceland goalkeeper for keeping those out. Some really impressive stops. But if it keeps up, it's one of those where if it keeps up, Finland will eventually find a goal. But the big question is, will it keep up? Because you'd expect Iceland to get better, and will Finland keep up this standard? It's going to be interesting to see. But they've done it for 45 minutes. Why can't they do it for another 45? Iceland, they've got 2 ways to go about it. Either they've got to try and be... Finland are being extremely brave. They're being very aggressive, and they're taking risks. Iceland have either got to take more risks and be braver, or they're going to have to accept that Finland are the side on top and play accordingly. So expect Finland to come in, expect Finland to be hard, and then when they do win the ball back, let them have it, and then you turn it over and try and catch them hard at the pitch. So Iceland have got 2 ways to go about it. I think with the quality they've got, they've got to take more risks. Got to be riskier. They're playing it safe. By losing the ball, they're playing it safe, because by playing that ball long and giving it back to Finland, they're playing it safe rather than trying to risk playing out. And I understand that to a certain extent in the early stages, but now as we get towards the end of the game, Iceland have got to be braver and they've got to get on the front foot, because if not, Finland will draw, if not win this game, because they've played some nice football, they look up for it, and I think that they can make this a very, very difficult second half for Iceland.
Yeah, to come back to your rhetorical question from about 3 minutes ago now, you said, why can't Finland do it for another 45? That's going to be a very interesting thing, because can Finland keep this intensity up? They've been very aggressive with the press, but are they able to maintain that physicality by playing it? Because everything for Finland has been about outrunning Iceland, outworking Iceland, being more physical in the challenges, going and pressing them aggressively. But combining all those factors, it becomes more of a game of attrition, and Finland playing that way will gas out sooner. So it could just be a matter of Iceland waiting till that happens and then hitting Finland once they're vulnerable. But yeah, I think there's got to be change in the second half. It's been too slow from Iceland across the board, really. Too many players holding the ball up. I don't think we're going to see a double change, but if the manager's feeling bold, bring Brynjarsdottir on, bring another forward on and put Jonsdottir through the middle and bring off Jason, and you get it flowing a little bit better, I think. Yeah, I think that those would be the changes I make. I don't think we're going to see changes at half time, but we'll see. It depends how ballsy Halldórsson is feeling.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Iceland are in a really difficult position now, because before the game, Finland opening game, thought happy days. That's a really nice game to warm up with and get into the tournament. But now they've put themselves in a position where this is the game where really they need to win it. Because if they don't win it, suddenly they've got to go and get a result against either Switzerland or Norway, and that is a big risk to take. So I think that if it's one of those where you don't want to go for it in the opening game and risk losing, but if they don't go for it and they don't be as risky, they could end up not getting the win, and that is also pretty damaging.
Yeah, shout out to Nick with my thoughts, saying Iceland have the speed, they need to play quicker. Al saying, I think Iceland have been building on the left, much better on the right. Well, they've got Viggarsdottir, who I think is a bit more comfortable with the ball at her feet than Sigurdardottir. We've seen Sigurdardottir struggle with the composure side of it, playing a lot of rushed passes, inaccurate passes. Viggarsdottir is much more comfortable playing exit balls rather than hoof balls. And there's a slight difference. Sigurdardottir is just lump it long when you panic, whereas Vigosdottir is always looking for that ball over the top, or playing it short if there's an option. So, yeah, just a slight difference in that. I think Runarsdottir, the fact that she's playing the player with the most touches probably for Iceland in that first half, doesn't bode well. I think they've got to play quicker. I don't know why Runarsdottir stops the ball completely dead every time. You know, maybe if they just played it a little bit quicker, it's going to catch Finland out. But yeah, it's been a confusing game so far. Not what we expected from this opener. Probably more cagey in the very early encounters than we expected. But obviously, as the opening game of the tournament, it was always going to be a little bit nervy. But yeah, I think there's still a lot to show from Iceland. Finland are playing better at the moment, but now the question is, can Iceland... Because I think Finland are probably playing close to their maximum level. Can Iceland now go and really make life difficult for them?
Yeah, 100%. I think Iceland shots has to be more
100%.
shots in the second half. Finland have been... What Finland are basically doing is... It's like they're doing everything that Iceland should be doing. And I think the main one is the shots. Finland are doing so well is... When they 20, 25 yards out, once they get into that region, it's 2 shots maximum, 2 touches maximum, and then they get a shot away. Yeah. And that's how they managed to force a couple good saves out of forgotten the name of the goalkeeper. Runarsdottir. Yeah. But Iceland just taking too long to do things in the final third. They've got to Iceland have got to be quicker with getting those shots away because they've got the players with the talent to score from 25 yards. But if they don't shoot, that's never going to happen.
But that's a funny thing. Finland have been taking quite shots from the edge of the box, but they're on target.
Yeah.
None of Iceland's have been yet. 5 shots, yet to register 1 on target. Finland 9 shots and 3 on target. So just got to be more accurate. Got to test the goalkeeper a bit more, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, to be fair, yeah, you've got to give credit to Finland because they could have easily been pulling the trigger from 20 yards out and smashing it over the bar, but they've been clinical, and we've seen some really good saves.
Well, not clinical yet, they haven't gone in, but
that is
they
true.
have tested Runarsdottir.
Which is better than just missing the target completely. But I do think that if they keep letting Kasola cut in on that right foot, she is going to score. She's had so many opportunities.
She's got to eventually.
Yeah. Stats would say it. Just common sense was the thing that keeps happening. She has to score at some point.
She's had at least 3 or 4 that they haven't gone for her. But yeah, she's doing well to curl those shots. Just needs to get a bit more, take a little power off, a little more curve on it, and try and find the side netting.
Yeah. Rather
than just blast it past the goalkeeper. If the power's good, just maybe take a little off and put a little more accuracy on it. But yeah, I think Finland would look the more likely to score. The question is now, how do Iceland change how they're playing, and how does that impact the game? Because traditionally Iceland, normally Iceland play better than this. Now I think their level is higher than Finland's. At the moment, they're not finding that level. If they find it, I think it becomes very difficult to see Finland winning the game.
Yeah.
But then at the moment, Iceland aren't playing that way, so Finland have got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, conditions I think will be very interesting as well in this second half. In the first half, we had light rain, but the sun was still shining through. The clouds were definitely looming over the ground, so it'll be interesting to see whether we do get any heavier rain in the second half, which I don't know who that hinders or helps. Both sides are used to playing in cold and damp conditions.
It's hard to deal with the long throws of Jonsdottir if it's chucking out rain, maybe, or is it hard to throw it?
Maybe.
Change is for Iceland, not a change for tactics, but a change for personnel, for injury, with Vigosdottir coming off, Heidarsdottir coming on. So Heidarsdottir is more of a left back, so I assume she'll play left back. One of the younger players in this side, 20 years old, will come in to play left back. I assume then we'll see Arnardóttir.
Yeah.
Arnardóttir, come into centre half.
It's one of those where it's a big shame for Vigosdottir that she can't continue, and a massive blow for Iceland, but it presents a great opportunity for the youngster to come in and get 45 minutes at this European Championships.
Indeed. So, Svinus Jonsdottir from the middle. Iceland clearly going to play this ball out to the right-hand side once the referee blows her whistle. Let's overload that side. Jonsdottir knocks it back, and we're back underway in this game. And
so.
it's been a stop. Call back there, player went to
way too early. She was almost past the centre circle by the time the ball actually got kicked.
She's done it again there, but she's got away with it that time. Iceland get us back underway in this second half. And the long ball hasn't even worked anyway. It goes out of play for Finland throw. All of that for that.
Brilliant. But yeah, blew it. It was miles ahead of the line.
Sigurdardottir takes the armband then from Viggasdottir as well.
That is one unhappy manager. How Dawson really not enjoying what you saw in that first 45 minutes.
Yeah. So ball clipped over the top then for Finland. Francie will chase it. And that's back now to the Iceland goalkeeper Runarsdottir, and now they can play.
Key moments of the match this. Will Iceland show much better signs, or will we just go back to the same rhythm?
Villiamsdottir into Jonsdottir, who seems to be playing a more central role now for Iceland and wants to run at players. Jonsdottir cuts inside. That's a great tackle. Brilliant tackle. So important that from Una Siren. Comes across and steals the ball away from Svinas Jonsdottir, who was darting into a dangerous position.
Really tidy, because the fullback was getting tied in knots, going left, going right, but coming across with a really good and well timed, because that was in the penalty area by the time they got there.
Yeah.
Does well to not concede a penalty. Really good interception.
Now they're coming forwards. Koika, Koivisto. Now Siren.
Oh.
Spills out to the right hand side here with Sahlstrom. A pass inside to Francie. And then unable to make it work between Koivisto and Francie. And that was offside anyway, so it was an Iceland free kick. Saw that one coming for a mile off where it spilled out to Francie, who just wasn't expecting it and was in an offside position.
It's a little unfair because I thought the challenge was a pretty deliberate play of the ball, but if she was offside when the first ball was played, then probably so. But yeah, Iceland, they need to just start fast in the second half.
Oof. Well, they've swapped Jonsdottir and Jason. I think that's the right decision.
Yeah.
But I think they swapped that anyway towards the end of that first half. Just surprised they've not brought on more of a natural winger onto that left-hand side. But I guess if they are winning and want to just hold the ball up and kill the game, they can swap that back round pretty easily. But that's why you want Jason off the bench. Someone you can bring on and kill the game off in that way. It's just killed their attack off at the start.
Yeah.
So having a player who slows them down, wants to play with back to goal and hold the ball up. Here is Jason. Heidarsdottir tries to feed a pass through a very tight area, and Finland win it high up the field. Francie wants to take on the fullback there, and that was a little bit on the line there from Arnardottir.
Dramatic, very dramatic from Francie.
That's true, but the two hands on a player, you run the risk.
The problem was the ball. Francie had knocked the ball so far in front of her that it would have been very difficult for her to get to. Falling nicely.
Erling coming forward. Strong tackle from Sigurdardottir. Stepped up nicely. Finland trying to come down this right-hand side. Great movement inside here from Erling, and it's just wide.
The chop was
Sahlstrom there.
Chop was absolutely brilliant and put herself in a great position, but going for the shot of her left foot, took it way too early and got it horribly wrong. But really good stuff. Lovely little chop here. Just a burst into space. But the shot
She could have laid it off there, you feel.
Got that all wrong. Wrong decision and wrong technique.
And laid off to Kasola to curl another one. Just over the bar. Jonsdottir robbed of possession in there. Brilliant from Erling again. She's been everywhere this afternoon. Excellent performance from the Palace player. And well, this is the sort of competition where if she can play like this, she'll force a move.
100%.
WSL clubs looking at her signature. It's difficult to impress in a side that finished bottom of the league and failed to put up much of a fight. But we saw glimpses this season. She's playing really well in a Finland shirt. Here's Koika. Knocks the ball out to the left-hand side. Well adjusted for by Kasola. tries to come inside, and we thought we were getting a right foot curler from Katarina Sala.
But that is a big difference in there, was that another Iceland player went out there and doubled up on her.
Yeah.
We saw too many times that, Arna Dottir was left out there isolated in a one-on-one situation and was losing, but there, one of her compatriots coming across and helping her out.
Indeed. Throwing down the line then. And a pass inside to Katarina Kasola. Now Siren. Switching the play to the right-hand side. Here's Koivisto. Wants to get a shot away. Can't quite manage it. And now left to feed on the scraps. Jason. Haidars Dottir. Blocked by Koivisto and out for a goal kick.
Really good stuff from Koivisto.
Koivisto hasn't stopped running.
No. Brilliant. Just incredible.
Up and down constantly.
The work rate is brilliant. That's exactly what you want to see. They've got to this level, Finland. They might as well, you want to see players giving it absolutely everything. And that's exactly what Koivisto's doing.
Yeah. Nice hold up there from Anton Dottir, but then tries to play it too quickly afterwards.
The ball out from Runar Dottir was much better. It had a target and it found that target. But then again, just the ball taken on the turn and smash up the pitch.
That is clumsy. And that is going to surely be a yellow card for Anton Dottir. Just got that all wrong.
Yeah. An acknowledgement and an apology to the referee for that one. Just dives in, gets it too late. Again, brilliant.
Wanted to get there first. Knocked it past her.
To be fair, it's unlucky because it's the deftest of touches that just takes it past Anton Dottir. But that's all it needs to go from being a clean tackle to end up missing the ball and taking out the player. Because Sola, again, causing more problems for Iceland. And you feel that if Finland are going to get a goal tonight, it's going to be through her. Or she's going to have something to do with it.
So free kick now. Evelina Summonen over this one.
Again, I feel like Summonen's had some numerous situations.
She has. Can Finland make use of one of them? It's the big question. Love the Finland font, by the way. I don't think I've commented on that yet.
Oh, their kit's brilliant.
The back of the shirt. Font. Love it. Summonen. That's a poor one. That can be kept alive here, though. Just about. By Koika. Tries to cross it in. It's blocked. That's out for a throw.
How they want to throw from that free kick, I have no idea. Because that delivery really was not it from Summonen. I mean, it is very windy.
Yeah.
The wind and the rain combined, but that ball in was just not good enough.
Una Siren. Thanks to the throw. Salstrom trying to hold it up in there. Falls back for Siren. And then cleared out of play. And they're making a change, Iceland. That felt like it was coming off. I think that as a forward. Yeah, Albert Dottir, the wide player.
I like that. That's taking initiative from Hal Dawson, realising that 8 minutes into the second half there hasn't been an improvement and that they need to up their game, and a change in personnel, hoping that will do that.
Haidars Dottir then.
Travelled a long way.
Gets the ball forward. Koivisto heads out of play and Iceland make up further ground.
So he should have gone. I mean, that is nowhere near where the throw. Yeah, she's
now making a change. So Albert Dottir on for number 14. That's Clean Eric Dottir. So Jason stays on. That's an interesting one for me. I don't think Eric Dottir's played particularly well, but I don't think Jason's played particularly well either. I think Jason would have been the one I'd have taken off sooner, but there you go. There's a group there all wearing the number 8 shirt, and then a group below them all wearing the number 7 shirt for Iceland. Oh, in the Iceland fans. So that must be deliberate. Either that's the family of Williams Dottir and Johans Dottir, and they're all sat together. They're just massive fans of
them. I love that. It'd be complete accidental that they've all actually end up sat next to each other. Another Iceland throw, though. They're just working their way up this left-hand side. was a bit of a collision there between Vilhelmsdottir and Koivisto as the ball went out. A bit of a weird one, but nothing from it. Oh, that was not a good throw. Well kept in by
Brought
Jonsdottir.
down there. Jonsdottir calls for a foul, not given. Clearance is blocked by Jason. Jonsdottir down in some discomfort here.
I think
to be caught in the face.
Koivisto is being very smart at things, but I think she's also getting away with a little bit. That is an arm across the face and just slaps her.
I'm not sure how intentional it is, though.
She's trying to put her arm.
She's trying to block her with their arms, which isn't.
It's a foul. It's
Well, you can block her with your arms. She's just caught her in the face accidentally.
Exactly.
No, I don't. I'm not disagreeing. It's a foul. I'm just saying I don't think there's much intent behind that one.
Yeah, no, I think there's a couple she's got away with in this game.
The best players do, though. That is a poor pass. Good pressure from Iceland, though. Now throwing on this near side, and that is what Iceland like. Jonsdottir on the throw. And they've got a player there with a towel.
Love it.
Ready for throw-ins.
Although I'd be a bit insulted if I was taken to the Euros to be the towel girl.
What position do you play? I'm the towel girl for
Yeah.
Iceland. I walk up and down the touchline with a towel. Thrown into the box. Not dealt with by Finland. Chance for Iceland punched away. Shot from Sigurdardottir. Chance for Iceland blocked again. How is that not in the goal? There's a player down. I think it's Eva Nystrom. He was just clarted in the face with the football.
There's going to be a long look at that. There was so much going on in there. There was an initial 2 hands in the back push on an Iceland player.
There's either 3 penalties or no penalties.
A shot. The ball then just went directly up in the air. It was punched away, not convincingly. It was then it fell to an Iceland player for a shot.
Sigurdardottir, that hit that another player, I think. Another strike hit a Finland player in the face, and then
Koivisto. Of course it was. Yeah, it was. It just took one in the face.
So yeah,
There's the push
right
there.
On the front post. That is dubious from Francie.
She's not punched away brilliantly. Sigurdardottir is then saved, and then the third shot comes in and goes.
It's Koivisto square in the face.
It's a mess, but Finland have kept the.
And now Finland are breaking away on an advantage.
Oh.
That is overhit though.
That's a letdown.
Yeah, won't get there.
They're given the advantage after a foul, but don't use it. But again, and Summonen is still down and feeling the effects of that one. And Koivisto just making sure her nose is still there.
Yeah.
But what a mess! But it's a third goalmouth scramble that Finland have just got managed to not concede from. But really good goal kicking, to be fair. The initial punch wasn't brilliant, but the backup save, I mean, it was yes, it was punched back into danger, but at least it was dealt with a bit of conviction. But yeah, Finland just didn't get out to it. And they're lucky that Koivisto's face has saved them there from going a goal behind. Oh, point blank range.
She'll take it. They're not conceded.
Yeah, I think there's loads of peeling going on there from Iceland. Some wanted a penalty for the push. Some thought Koivisto had handballed it.
Yeah.
Someone has gone back and been booked, by the way, for the challenge on Summonen. Not quite sure who.
Sigurdardottir's coming to the bench here, as has Antonsdottir. What's happened here?
She was sent off.
Antonsdottir is gone. That's a second yellow card for Antonsdottir, isn't it?
Completely missed it because they were showing replays.
Antonsdottir on a yellow has received a second yellow card, and Iceland are down to 10.
I don't know why we're watching.
So I think Sigurdardottir's come over to complain because then there's been a bit of confusion here.
I wonder if it's a case of the old mistaken identity. Is the referee's gone back after the advantage?
Halderson
and have got the wrong player.
Not happy.
But no, the referee is very much sticking to her guns, and we're playing on.
So Iceland down to 10. A bit of confusion over how this has happened because we didn't see the incident.
No.
But play will continue. Iceland down to 10, and that swings the game again. We have no information on why that's a second yellow. And that's poor from the broadcast. It's got to show one of the most important moments. We're looking at replays. And we come back and Antonsdottir's gone.
And that completely changes the game because Iceland, who were already up against it, are now a player down. I'm hoping we're going to see it now. But the other thing Iceland won't be happy about is that if this is from the advantage, you're not meant to play the advantage of it. You're going to send someone off. And
well, I don't think she remembered that she was on a
that'll be the
yellow.
problem.
She's booked her,
and that's
then
the problem.
And then I imagine a Finland player's going, you've already booked her, and then that has to be a red. But I think it's
a messy one.
Yeah, a bit of a mess of a situation indeed.
We need to watch it back because if it was something else for something like dissent, then that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, instead we got to watch 7 replays of Kvisto taking a ball in the face.
Coming forwards now is Siren. Chance for Finland. Still going. Una Siren takes a deflection. Still bouncing around the Iceland penalty over. They will get it clear. Here's Jason. Can't deal with the ball. Francie. Now Erling. Pass inside to Koivisto. Will take it out onto this right hand side. Players in the box now waiting for the ball. Francie. Back now to Koivisto. Plays it into Erling, driving inside. Important tackle for Williamsdottir. Finds Jonsdottir, tries to turn, can't do so. Nystrom. And now Finland. They'll have belief now.
Yeah.
With a player advantage. Yeah, I mean, everyone in chat's confused. HB says red card. Shelton says I'm confused. CM, what's happening? We are as in the dark as you guys are on that red card. A second yellow not shown on the broadcast. We'll wait until we see a replay. I'm sure that they've got to be trying to find one.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to get one now, hopefully. Yeah. So, was it the foul from... Yeah, so that she makes the initial
That's
foul.
Evelina Summanen. Combining with Williamsdottir. That's nothing.
No. She stood on her leg.
Yeah, but that's Williamsdottir, no?
No. Antonsdottir came in and took her out. So it is the correct call, but the problem was, I think it was the way she kind of went about it.
Change for Iceland. I was looking at the wrong players. Change for Iceland. Jason coming off. Brynjarsdottir on. So Iceland, that's a change of an attacking player on from midfield. So they'll go to a 4-3-2.
Yeah. It should be one-way traffic for Finland for the next 28 minutes.
Yeah.
And that presents a brilliant opportunity for them to get some points on the board here. Iceland are up against it.
Young Sipes has already a red card in the first game of the Euro, indeed.
But
anyone who had that on their bingo card,
the tackle was horrible. It was it would have been that conversation between a yellow and a red on its own because
to do that when you're on it. Yeah,
it was just under the shin pad with the going in with a straight leg and the studs. Just clumsy. Absolutely not. Well, no, clumsy's, I think, a bit nice to put it. It's a really daft thing to do on a yellow card to dive in like that.
It's like a very desperate tackle. Iceland getting frustrated. An hour into this game, they weren't having anything their own way, and they're now definitely not. As Finland come forwards again, Koivisto into Francie, tries to take on Sigurdardottir. Looked like it came off Sigurdardottir. Should be a corner.
Yeah,
and it's been given as such.
Not that.
Unfortunately, pointing at your own head does not win you a goal kick.
Me. Yeah, and Finland, I think, are sensing an opportunity here to go and seize 3 points.
Yeah, reading a change. Savenius, the Rosengard striker. So presumably that'll be for Sahlstrom.
Potentially.
That's an interesting one.
Another Summerlin corner. Can she get this delivery right?
Yeah. I mean, she is 36, Linda Sahlstrom. So you're expecting that she'll need to come off soon. Summanen, low ball into the box. Tries to keep it alive here, Koika. Back to Summanen. Could deliver this again. Evelina Summanen towards the back post. Unable to head it in the right direction. Now Jonsdottir for Iceland. Sends it up the line.
The flat ball only works if your intended target is going to take the shot on first time. Because by the time you take...
in the Jamaica-England game.
Yeah, by the time you take a shot, by the time you take a touch, players are on you and you're not going to get a shot away.
Or you've got to dummy it.
Or dummy it.
Put a player in front of Hannah Hampton, but that will get the goal disallowed. So.
Yeah.
Here's Koivisto. Darting towards goal. Shot now from Koika. Blocked.
Finland are camped in Iceland's half.
Yeah.
Iceland
the exact opposite way around how we expect this game to go.
We're in a position now, with 25 minutes to go, where Finland will feel like a draw will be a missed opportunity.
Strumman and misplaced pass. Iceland will look to break.
And that Iceland would love to take a point from this.
Arnardóttir. Here come Iceland. Still driving forward here, the fullback. Options in the box now. Delivers it in there. It's blocked by the first player. Got to be a better ball at this stage of the game.
Finland got to go the other way.
25 minutes. That's a misplaced pass.
Iceland have got numbers forward.
Talina.
They've slowed it down and then played a poor pass. What a terrible sequence of events to happen.
Yeah, Arnardóttir. This has got to be a better ball. It's past almost David Armstrong.
That was aimless. That was just put across the box and hope for the best.
Francie off then. Sarstrom remains. But it's Francie off for Savenius. Lapor, welcome to the stream, says draw, ? Well, at the moment, it feels like it will be.
Yeah.
Because Finland are slightly too wasteful in front of goal and Iceland aren't creating anything. But that can change it, and a player advantage should give it to Finland. But if Finland overcommit, that could leave space for Iceland. So it's going to be a really interesting battle over the next 25 minutes. Viljámsdóttir looking to take on Nyström, does really well. Players in the box. Cross is blocked. If not, Svindis Jonsdóttir would have had a chance at goal. Viljámsdóttir getting the Iceland faithful going now.
Yeah, Finland have just got to be careful. They don't get caught out by going for the game. Lovely football from Viljámsdóttir.
That's the first time I've seen Viljámsdóttir take players on today.
Yeah.
She's been out-muscled every other time. Ball into the box now for Iceland. Dealt with by Finland. Pumped back up into the air by Sigurdóttir. Now Iceland will look to keep this move alive. Ball into the box. Chance for Iceland. Blocked again. This time Koika getting in front of Sigurdóttir's option. Getting in front of her chance.
I tell you what, I don't know why she's popped up there, but she just made the late run into the penalty area.
She stayed high from centre back.
Yeah.
From the corner. And then, just almost needing it.
Tell you what, it's going to be an entertaining end to this football match because you've got the side with the better quality with one player less. And it just presents a brilliant matchup. Very even matchup. Another corner for Iceland.
Viljámsdóttir. In towards the back post. Chance for Iceland. Flicked away off a Finnish head. And Sarstrom will keep it alive here for Finland. They'll look to break away. And unable to do so. Good defending there from Arnardóttir. Has got to get back into the back line. Lorenzo and Jai, welcome to the stream. It says draw or 1-0 Finland. There's the prediction. I don't think my 3-1's going to come true now. How are you feeling about your...
My 2-1 Iceland.
2-1 Iceland.
Not sure that's going to happen either.
No.
Unless we have a crazy last 22 minutes.
I think you'd need a Finnish player off for that.
Yeah.
Level it out. Here's Casola. Looking to cut inside. Strikes it and it's blocked.
It's going to happen. She's going to score from one of these moments where she cuts inside. Big block though. Another corner for Finland. But that is, again, Casola getting on the ball, being dangerous. Haven't seen that too much as we haven't seen it as often in the second half, but that is another sign of positivity for Finland.
She's the only player on the pitch that's been direct. That's made a huge difference. Young Cypher's saying Iceland aren't pressing enough. I think that's very harsh on a team with only 10 players. But yeah, this is... It's going Finland. It should go Finland's way here. They've got the player advantage. Evelina summoning in towards the front post. Blicked on, and that's just wide. From Koika. We've seen her come up with big goals before from Finland. She scored in the qualification game against Scotland. That one was a hell of a goal. Screamer from range. This one could have been a tidy little flick on at the front post. Just didn't quite come.
Shoulder. I think the better option there would have been to try and flick it back into the box rather than flick it goalwards. To get it in from there would have needed a very deft touch and a brilliantly directed header. A roly-poly in there for Viljámsdóttir as she gets barged over while going up for a header. But I think there'll be a lot of frustration in the Iceland camp because this is a missed opportunity and as it stands would put a lot of pressure on their two remaining group games. But there's still 20 minutes to go. A lot can happen in 20 minutes. The problem is, if something is going to happen, it's most likely to go against Iceland.
Evelina Summonen, indeed. Well, HB's just said, still predicting an Iceland goal in this game. Here come Finland. Just about dealt with from Iceland. Summonen out to left-hand side. Here's Kasola. Can she be direct again? Looks to cut inside. Kasola takes aim and it's there. Top corner from Katarina Kasola. And finally her efforts haven't gone to waste. Iceland 0, Finland 1. The opener at this tournament caused by Kasola. She's been dangerous all game, cutting in on that right foot. And this one finds the top corner. Finland lead. And Iceland now with a mountain to climb. What a goal from Kasola. It was coming for ages, Harry.
How many times has she tried to do that? And finally she finds the top right corner. It's a brilliant strike. But again, it's too easy from Iceland. It's the textbook from Kasola. The go neutral, be direct. And then last minute, change your direction to the right-hand side. Cut inside and unleash a shot. And this is a brilliant effort. Gets the right weight on it. Doesn't hit it too hard. And a touch of the gloves from Runarsdottir isn't enough. But a brilliant, brilliant effort. Gets it right this time. And it pays dividends. Brilliant strike.
Thoroughly deserved. She's been excellent today, Kasola. And the little nick off Runarsdottir gloves puts it into the top corner. But it's brilliant from Kasola. Cut inside. Made it difficult for the fullback, Arnardottir. And a real quality strike gives Finland the lead. And Finland, a side many people would have written off, ourselves included, coming into this game, coming into this tournament. Well, they lead here. And as it stands, they'd be topping the group on 3 points after match day 1 and in a beautiful position to try and progress.
Absolutely deserved. The red card doesn't affect things. 71 minutes and Finland have been the better side.
But all of them.
Yeah.
Maybe one in there that Iceland played better stuff. But honestly, Iceland such a disappointment in this opening game. Finland, an excellent performance. And it puts huge pressure on Iceland's other 2 group games if they can't find an equaliser or a subsequent winner in this game. And Finland thoroughly deserving this. And they're still coming forwards. That ball too vertical, too straight. And it's saved well, or saved easily by the goalkeeper, Kasola, with the opening goal at this tournament. That is a pub quiz question for years to come. So remember the name, Katarina Kasola.
And again, we speak about players at the tournament and how at Euros you can make a name for yourself. And I know it's only match week 1, but Kasola is doing that.
Oh, 100%.
The way she's played today has been absolutely brilliant.
Sign her up.
Caused so many issues.
I've been thoroughly impressed. And this is the platform that we speak about. I mean, you've only got to think about last World Cup where we saw players like Hinata Miyazawa make a name for themselves and get a move into the WSL. Kasola playing her football in the Swedish league in the Damsallsvenskan for Malmo, coming into this tournament and into this game and being a huge threat. And she's coming forwards again here, cuts inside, takes aim, but it's over the bar.
Don't get me wrong, she's doing brilliantly, but how can Iceland keep letting her do that? That's like the 6th time she's done that exact same move. Bring the ball down, just run at you, and then shift to the right-hand side. You've got to read that as a defender. You've got to force her out wide, and that is really disappointing from Iceland. But take nothing away from Kasola, because, you know, if they're going to keep letting her do that, she's punished them, and fair play to her. A brilliant, brilliant strike. 16 shots to 9 in Finland's favour. They've been so much braver and much better in the final third.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't put Katarina Kasola in my fantasy Euros team.
Yeah. I like the fact I can mix between the fantasy Euro and the UEFA gaming one.
I don't like the UEFA gaming one. I think it's pointless.
But I have got Emma Koivisto in it, so that is going brilliantly so far. Yeah. I don't actually get points for taking the ball to the face and being really frustrating for young and upcoming wingers.
No, I've got Jonsdottir and Arnardottir in my fantasy team. So
I do love that when you get to international tournaments when players you haven't watched in a couple of years since they, you know, as they've got more or older and they've left the WSL and the top leagues, just turn up at an international tournament and just.
Koivisto can still definitely cut at the top level, really.
100%. But
she still does in
that is true. There, yeah. But I haven't heard from her in a couple of years. Turns out the Euros and is dropping a brilliant performance at right back for Finland.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, what a missed opportunity this was. Overhit pass, this was an acres.
You're gutted.
That goal and points would have gone out of the board. But wow. What a moment for Finland. 15 minutes away from taking 3 points away from the opening match.
Jónsdóttir out to this left-hand side. Heiðarsdóttir plays Jónsdóttir in behind. Chance for Iceland. Got to finish it off. And that is a big missed opportunity for Jónsdóttir. Svíða's Jónsdóttir in to score.
Flag stayed down.
I can't believe she's not done better. Great opportunity. Finland opened up. But Jónsdóttir gets it all wrong. Just caught that strike horribly.
Oh, gone for the top right. Gone for glory. Just got to try and beat the keeper. Just got to try and side foot it past her. Instead, trying to just curl it into the top right and gets it wrong.
It's a really poor effort. As a player, we'd expect a much better shot from Heiðarsdóttir. Back now to Runarsdóttir.
What a chance. What a chance to be level. Just got it horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But just the run was brilliant. Absolutely class. Timed it brilliantly. But just overcomplicated the finish. Didn't need to try and find the top right corner there. Just needed to knock it past the goalkeeper. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get it in the net. If it goes in the net, it's a goal. As long as you haven't used your hands. But yeah, just went for glory there.
All in behind again, looking for the run of Jónsdóttir. Overhit though, and out for a goal kick.
Big 15 minutes because Iceland have got to rally. They've got to try and pull something out of the bag here. That's going to be difficult because they haven't really shown any signs of doing so.
Yeah. First that story of her career so far, to be honest. So much potential, but she's never really kicked on. Yeah. Here come Finland. Koivisto. I was disappointed when she went to Angel City. Strong links with clubs like Man City and Arsenal. Felt like that's the sort of move she needed to really take that step up to the next level. From being a bit plot player at Wolfsburg, is Angel City, really going to elevate her to that platform? Possibly. I mean, I don't watch enough NWSL to judge, but you feel that there are other options on the cards for her. Here come Iceland. Arnardóttir, ball into the box, just about dealt with by Eva Nystrom. Back to her goalkeeper. And now Finland can play out. They've got a double change readying on the sideline. And that looks to me like Jutta Rantala and Lehtola. So that is someone who'll come in and play left back and someone who's going to come in and score.
I mean, that is massive. The fact that they have managed...
Yeah, that's Rantala, number 22.
They've managed to put themselves a goal ahead. They've looked really good in their opening game. And Rantala hasn't played yet. Yeah. Now let's see what she can do.
Okay, Lehtola coming on to right back here. Looks like then with Koivisto coming off.
What a game for Koivisto.
Yeah.
I thought she got away with a couple in terms of tackles and things, but overall used her experience and was very smart. Didn't have the pace of Jónsdóttir, but had a lot more appearances behind her, and that showed in this game.
And then Linda Sahlström, the 36-year-old off for Finland's star player Jutta Rantala, who is on now.
What a miss she's been for Leicester this season, but what an impact she could have for Finland at this tournament.
Yeah.
12 minutes to go. 12 minutes away from a big win.
Jónsdóttir does really well there to spin Lehtola. Just about keeping the ball in touch. Apparently not.
Yeah, didn't think so.
And that's out of play.
Just a very close one. But just overran it.
But overall, I think a disappointing performance from Svíða's Jónsdóttir.
Yeah, it's difficult because I think she's got the brightest for Iceland, but with the quality she's got, those bright sparks should have been goals. That's a terrible pass out. Finland get away with it. But yeah, I think with the chances she's had, she should have done better with them.
Yeah, no game, no future says Finland is better today, in my opinion, 100%. Iceland hugely disappointing. The red card on 60 minutes for Antonsdóttir did nothing to help their chances, but a poor performance to that point, and it's not looked any better since. A really tough start to this European Championships. The European Championships, which promised so much for Iceland. But it looks like, bar anything massive in the last 10 minutes here, plus additional time, that Finland will kick off this Euros in a perfect fashion.
Yeah. But it also means that if Switzerland and Norway are to draw later tonight, Finland would be outright top of the group and the 3 people who are expected to finish above them would all be behind them by at least a win margin.
Yeah.
So that'd be huge for them, because then suddenly, when you win your first game, you put yourself in a position where you could only be 1 point away from having enough to go through. Obviously, that would be very tight, and would have to be a little bit fortunate. But it's just a great start, and they'll look to kick on, but they've got to hold on in these last 10 minutes.
Indeed.
Iceland have got to try and salvage something. But to be honest, I think that it's very important to not use the red card as an excuse, because I still think with 11 players on the pitch, Iceland wouldn't be winning this match currently. Maybe they wouldn't be losing, but they certainly wouldn't be winning.
And Onslaught feigning the long throw. Plays a short throw and then a cross, which hasn't worked out really. Nice and looking to recycle it. Arna Dottir. Now Williams Dottir. Puts it into the box. Headed away. And then smashed clear by Jutta Rantala. Kasola. And she loses the ball and then brings down her opposition player.
Yeah. Just a little bit late. Smart play that. But yeah, it's been very competitive. I think it's been a really physical, combative game. Shown by the red card and the we've had a few poor tackles in there. But I think that again that is something that has favoured Finland. The fact it has been aggressive, it has been competitive, and very physical. It favours Finland more than it does Iceland in terms of the way both want to play football.
Ball into the box, headed on, but unable to convert, and now they'll look to break away Finland. Ball pumped down the line, going to run through to Runars Dottir. He's under a bit of pressure here from Jutta Rantala. Plays the ball into midfield, and it's Finland who are trying to pounce on it. Savenius fighting for it. Now Leitola plays it forwards, headed back. That's a bit haphazard there from Leitola. But now Finland have the ball. No look to play down this left-hand side. Tanila. Into Savenius. Needs some support here. Now back to Summonen. Really well-rounded performance though from Finland. Here's Rantala. Are Finland going to fulfil what we all expected Iceland to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to be the side that can cause upsets at this tournament? That's the big question now. Can they kick on from this performance? Obviously, can they see this performance out? Koika. Siren. Pass inside to Erling. Shifts it into Una Siren. 1-2 with the wide player. Koika. Nystrom back to Koika. Knocks it out wide. Here's Leitola. Forced back to Siren. Erling. Now Koika. And Finland, under no obligation to bring this ball forward, can happily recycle it. Just slow this game down. Koika brought down there by Albertsdottir. Free kick, well, advantage given, sorry. Trying to come down the line here now. But it's cut out well by the Iceland fullback, Albertsdottir. She's not looked bad since coming on, to be fair, Albertsdottir. Not a lot she could have done about the goal. Just Arnardottir's been run riot by Kasola.
Yeah. And Iceland just not done enough, just weren't opposing enough in the first half, and in the second half they've lacked that player, so they couldn't have really gone out and been aggressive and pressed high.
Williamsdottir off for Tryggvadottir. Williamsdottir, another player that's been hugely disappointing. We've seen glimpses of what she can do, but overall it's just not been consistent enough. And the same applies for Svindis Jonsdottir. Had a big chance to bring Iceland level and give them a lifeline in this game, in a game where they've not been impressive, and she missed it. And moments like that define tournaments. That could have changed Iceland's fortunes. But ultimately, it was a big moment and she couldn't step up into it. They will come forwards here now, Iceland. Shot from range, dangerous one. Stopped well by Koivunen. That might be their first shot on target in this game.
It was a hell of a strike, long way out. Alba's got it. Cuts inside on the left foot. Has a go straight at the keeper, but it had some power behind that.
Yeah.
Don't want to keep that down.
Move it well. Koivunen dealt with it in the end.
Yeah, I think she's settled into the game, Koivunen, a little bit. Shaky early doors, but has definitely just calmed down and has composed a lot in goal for Finland. And that has been the story, really. I think as the game's gone on, Finland have actually got stronger.
Yeah.
I think they started well, but they've really grown into the game second half. They sensed an opportunity, and they've come through and taken it so far.
Yi Chen mentioning it's a little quiet. Yeah, we are having a few problems with our audio. Yi Chen will try and sort that out for the future streams in the tournament. But as long as you can hear us somewhat, it's fine. Get a big speaker or something. Put us on full blast. Here come Iceland. Jonsdottir. Odds the ball up well. Ball into. Well, trying to come forwards here, Iceland. Out now for a corner. Lapor asking, will this game be a draw? At the moment, it will not, no. See how it goes.
The Iceland fans trying their best to get their side going. But at the moment, it's not enough.
Indeed, Albertsdottir over this. Puts into the box. Headed away.
Who's the last touch?
That will go the way of Finland.
Iceland not happy about that. It was a difficult one to tell.
Surprised.
Glanced off there to somebody. Koivunen is now down as well for Finland. Is this an injury or is this the... I mean, it looks to be a bit of an injury, to be fair. I mean, that's not stretching out anything. Just look like something like lift her limp leg.
Holding her ankle. I think she went to sort out a cramp, but then
it's not cramp.
It's not cramp.
Yeah. So here we go, getting a better idea of the red cards. Yeah, the first yellow is in there, and then there just comes over and stands on someone's foot.
It's a silly one.
Really clumsy from Antonsdottir. And the right decision. You know, I think that, yes, the decision, yes, the way it went about it was not done properly. And the second yellow should have come directly after the foul rather than playing the advantage. But the decision was correct. It is a red. It's a second yellow. It is a bit harsh saying that she did only make 2 fouls, but they were both yellow card offences.
Yeah.
Well, we're about ready to go. Couple minutes left plus additional time. Probably going to be 4 or 5 minutes. So not long now left for Sweden for Finland to hold on. Not sure why there's a bloke with an Austria shirt in the crowd.
I think there's quite a few Austria shirts dotted about. I think it's just Austrian fans that have gone to watch games because they can.
Yeah. Another interesting one. Iceland, again, frustrated. Wasn't given.
Jonsdottir down. But I think she'll get up and continue.
Yeah, that's a foul.
Got caught.
It's just a foul. She's just clobbered into her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Iceland will be frustrated. But at the end of the
Iceland
day,
want the throw, don't they?
yeah.
That's what they've asked for.
At the end of the day, they've got themselves to blame.
Jonsdottir towards the near post. Flicked on. Chance for Iceland. Bounced around in the air. Headed away. Looked to be kept alive here by Tryggvadottir. Iceland win it back. Players down the heat. Falls for Tryggvadottir. Given as a foul. Iceland frustrated. Finland celebrating.
It was a hard challenge. It was a firm challenge, but we'll have another look here. Just didn't really seem to get. She doesn't really seem to get anything. Yeah.
Dottir is frustrated there, but she didn't touch the ball, took a player down with her, and ultimately if that spilled to an Iceland player for a goal, then you can see why it was given. Sent long there by Toivonen. Koivunen, sorry. Ball launched forward. It's going to bounce into the gloves of Runesdottir. And now they'll look to play out from the back, Iceland. As we approach the 90. Not much time left. We will have 6 additional minutes in this game. Still time for a goal. Could it be another for Finland to help their goal difference, to give them a more secure footing on this good performance? Could it be an Iceland equaliser, which could be so crucial to them staying in this competition? That's Iceland coming forwards now. Leitola doesn't deal with that. Albertsdottir will bust a gut to get there, and she will. Swings it into the box. Head away by Koika. Tanila lets it go to the edge of the area. Brynjarsdottir lays it off, and it's saved well. Not bad from Tryggvadottir. Koivunen matches it though.
It's a good effort, and it's really well held by Koivunen. If she spills that, there's about half of the Iceland team running onto it. That's really well held. And again, just manages to run the clock down, can take a bit of time out of the game. Iceland are going to need some late drama here if they want to take something out of the fixture. Simonen's got a problem.
Yeah. This is worrying for Finland and for Evelina Summonen.
It seemed like she was either going to continue or was just going to walk it off, but then the physios came on and now she's got to go off. Iceland fans not happy, telling them just to get on with it. Which she will. Now she's running off.
It's all happening.
Think a bit of miscommunication, that one. The Iceland not happy. 4 minutes left.
Koivunen's in no rush to take this. It's a drop ball.
Yeah.
And she'll wait for Jonsdottir to press it, but that's 30 seconds there because no
And now-
one from Iceland responded to
and
that.
Simonen's now been waved on.
So there you go. Iceland have lacked that urgency.
Yeah.
Lacked that desire. And Finland managing this game really well. And Koivunen's now going to be chased around the penalty area by Jonsdottir.
She left that one late.
But that's 30 more seconds and she'll clear it long. Not dealt with there by Iceland. And now Finland will look to try and bring it forwards early. Foul in there on Jutta Rantala.
It's going to take something special from someone in a blue shirt to try and salvage something from this game. But Finland look to have it all in control. Not if they just clear the ball long like that, but that's more convincing. Just trying to find a way into the corner.
That one scooped towards the corner. Now into the hands of Iceland for a throw-in on this near side. Need forwards. Almost need him behind there.
We're in one of the best assists
For
of
the
all
run
time.
yes. Yeah. Casola puts pressure on the ball. Here come Iceland. Ball down to this right wide channel. Tryggvadottir. Looking to try and deliver this ball into the box. Summonen stands her up well. For Arnardottir tries to put the ball inside. And that one is cleared away by Finland. And the time is trickling down. A lack of urgency for Iceland still. They need to get this ball in the box. Jonsdottir with a throw-in opportunity now. Can she finally get this one right? Does well, gets a bit of height on it. It's flicked on, headed away by Koika. Ball lifted towards the far post.
Someone's got to
Barely
gamble.
meets it.
Someone's got to gamble that's exactly where that ball's going to go. It's the right delivery.
Yeah, Brynjar's Dottir. Maybe should have committed for that. Just didn't. Change the foot for Finland. It's going to be Koivisto coming on. And no, it's not a return for Emma Koivisto. This is Vilma Koivisto. And then Summonen making way. And it will be Roth on in her place. So that will move Finland into a back three, I think. Roth more of a centre half.
She's just part of the bus now. Try and hold on for, a minute, but probably
Maria Erling, the other player off. Well, as you say, not long left. They've killed a lot of time in this game.
Iceland. They need something. It's now or never. If they want something from this opening game.
Jonsdottir takes aim and Koivunen. Look, for honest, I don't think she's touched it. Not sure how she thinks that.
Yeah. Right idea, just gets it all wrong. I'll tell you what, I'm not really sure why Koivunen's diving for that.
Just pull her safe, so I guess.
Fair enough. But that is wide. Yeah. To be fair, maybe it was more of a mockery the way she dived after the ball had gone past her. And again, she's running down the clock.
Jonsdottir not happy about Koivunen's antics. She launches it long, flicked on in there. We're over the 6 minutes, but there should be more time allowed here as there were some substitutes. As Finland look to manage the game, Koivunen clears it. Unfortunately for her, Jonsdottir couldn't get a better touch on that. Iceland, what is likely the last chance of the game. And they put it right onto the goalkeeper, Koivunen. That is a disappointing lumped ball from Sigurdardottir.
Yeah.
Or Arnardottir, sorry.
Who's not had a good game.
Koivunen clears it. And that might be the last touch. Now Iceland will have time here. Just not making it work. There's too many mistakes at this stage of the game.
Still we play.
Jonsdottir. It's blocked and out of play for a throw. Jonsdottir with one last chance. She's looking for a towel. So this will definitely be the last chance with Iceland killing some time here.
One long throw is all it's going to be.
Smindas Jonsdottir in towards the near post. Tries to be flicked on. There's a foul in there from a push from Sigurdardottir. And that should be that. Referee waiting to blow our whistle. And that is full time here in Thun. A win for Finland, a historic moment for Finland as they claim 3 points on the opening day of this European Championships. A 1-0 win over a disappointing Iceland. Jonsdottir inconsolable because they know how important this game was. The easiest game of the groups is how Iceland would have viewed it coming into it, and they've come away with nothing except a suspension for match day 2. Katarina Kasola, the difference maker in Finland, with a big 3 points in this opening group game.
Huge credit to Finland for the work they've put in over that 90 minutes. A thoroughly deserved 3 points. Iceland came into this and everyone thought that this would be a comfortable start for everyone's labelled dark horses, but Finland had other ideas. And as I say, fair play to them. That was a brilliant performance. A lot of courage in it. Very aggressive. With a better side from minute 1. And eventually, they got the goal. And I tell you what, even if the red card hadn't come for Iceland, Finland would have taken a positive result. But getting themselves the goal, winning by a 1-0, and a massive 3 points. They're in the driving seat now in the group. All eyes will turn to the other game in about an hour's time, where the hosts finally will kick their tournament off. But what a start for Finland. Big opportunity now in front of them. Taking 3 points from that. Another positive result, and they could be in a really good position to get themselves through to the knockouts. But They can't get ahead of themselves, one game at a time, but a fantastic performance and a brilliant result to go with it.
I didn't see that happening. Really
No.
did not see that
Not at
coming.
all.
Big win for Finland, now top Group A, of which we're going to see the second game in 45 minutes time. So join us on that stream. We're going to go lie down, enter like is it cryogenic?
I have no idea.
There's like freeze chambers.
Cool.
We're going to run of those for a bit. We'll come back out ready and raring to go. See you in 45 minutes time. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you in a bit.